You are live at Giacosa Stadium, where for the 13th time, Father Ryan High School will take on Pope John Paul II High School. Hey everybody, Luke and Billy with you on the campus of Ryan High School in South Middle, and a riot game tonight with JP2 to Bishop's Cup and one season ago here on this field.
Yes, sir, Lou, and obviously everyone involved in the Father Ryan community, all the students, teacher, players even, and especially the coach, are eager to get this one started tonight. They have been chomping at the bit throughout the offseason and this season. They've been working hard for this game tonight, the Bishop's Cup. We all know they work hard for every game, but tonight is the Bishop's Cup, and it's going to be a special game.
You'll recall last year, Pope John Paul II High School led by 17 at the half. They got off to a very kickoff in that game, took it all the way down inside the Irish 5, which helped them to get an early advantage, but it's a change as you always have from year to year. Really good quarterback Ben Brooks now playing baseball at the University of Memphis. He has been replaced by Ben Nixon as a starting quarterback. So Zach Wefnowski has the ball teed up, and we are underway. An intermediate length kick to the near side, fielded at the 25, bobbled, hits the ground. Finally, a JP2 jumps on it. That's where they will begin their first possession of this.
That's the kickoff we've seen to start every game for Father Ryan. They're right what you want if you're Rector. JP, muff the kick if you can recover it.
Officially say it's at JP2 28-yard line. First and 10. No score between JP2 and Father Ryan just underway. JP2 will work shotgun, 3 receivers to the far side. At quarterback, Nolan Underhill, the running back behind him. And it's going to be an option play. They can keep it Father Ryan, and they do. So one offensive play, one turnover. Irish with the early advantage.
Wow, what a start for the Irish here on defense. That's the start you want, obviously. First possession, first play of the game, fumble. This is going to energize this sideline for the Irish, energize the entire team. You saw the play up, and that's the big start tonight, Irish.
Field turn of events. And so Father Ryan take the field for its first offensive possession of the game. Seamus O'Connell starting at quarterback. Of course, Cade Pfeiffer out for the year with a knee injury. It's a 3-4 defense, a new look this year for JP2. And on first down, handoff Jackson Bird trying to push it to the outside. He'll gain maybe 2 yards on that carry.
Right there you see JP2's front 7, basically showing what they can do. It's not going to be easy tonight for the Irish to ball. We're used to seeing Jackson Bird on the first play of the game, a chunk of yardage. Only 2 yards there right there by this stout JP2 defense.
Father Ryan seemed to move the ball at will on the ground 6 days ago in Stratford in that 39-0 victory. So on 2nd and 9, it'll be O'Connell rolling to the near side, buying time, has good protection. He's going to cut it back to the far side. He may run with it. He may have been past the line of scrimmage. It's complete. A nice throw there to the far side. Wyatt Rector. So they will say incomplete on that one.
I am not sure why Seamus O'Connell did not continue to run. He rolled to the left, obviously, no one open, rolls to the right with basically the entire half of the field open to run, but he decides to drop back, throw it, and falls incomplete.
So 11:06 to go, first quarter, no score. Father Ryan and JP2. 3rd and 9, Irish out of the shotgun, 4 receivers, 2 to either side. O'Connell, he'll run with it to the 25, to the 20, heads down to the 10, to the 5, into the end zone, touchdown, Irish. Seamus O'Connell on the QB keeper, a 28-yard run, and the Irish strike right in South Nashville.
Right after I say he should run the ball, he shows us what he can do there on the rushing touchdown. And that's what we're going to be seeing a lot of tonight with Seamus O'Connell. He is a dangerous threat to run the ball every time he's in the game.
Last season, JP2 opened with an early touchdown against Father Ryan, returning the favor on this one. Now they'll set up for the extra point. That was an issue for them 6 days ago against Stratford. 3 failures on extra point tries out of 5. And the freshman Wesnowski gets a leg into it, and that one looks good and is good. So with 10:55 to go here in the first quarter, your score, Father Ryan 7, JP2 0 here on ATW Sportscast. On the first play from scrimmage, JP2 fumbled. Irish recovered that fumble and ultimately led to a long touchdown run on third down for quarterback Seamus O'Connell. So now the second kickoff, again towards this near sideline. We fielded at the 30, cleanly this time, to the 33, and no further for Pope John Paul II. Larkin Cruthofer, 5'10", 175-pound junior, brought it in.
That's the second time Cruthofer has seen the ball on the kickoff. He might have some trouble with those interesting kicks from Wesnowski tonight.
They'll officially say the ball is at the JP2 33-yard line. That's where the Knights will start the second offensive drive of the game for them. 10:50 to go, first quarter. Father Ryan leads 7-0. It's a three-receiver look, two to the far side. Again, a shotgun for Nixon. Send an H-back in motion to the far side. Makes the handoff, throws complete to the 45 to the 50. Good tackle. Gray Irwin making the stop, but not before. Large chunk of yardage. Brendan Keaton. He had 2 drops against BA last week, but atones for it there. And a good completion off the play fake.
Keaton is a very nice young talent that JP2 is very lucky to have. He's a very young sophomore, 5'7", 160 pound. As you mentioned, 2 drops last week against BA, but he's come out strong here on first down for the Knights.
Knights with the ball at the Father Ryan, say the 37-yard line for 1st and 10. Handoff up the middle, and there's nothing there. Austin Crow on the stop, Nolan Underhill on the carry.
Crow has been a force this year for the Irish, right there in the middle of the front 7. We saw him against BA a couple weeks ago with a fumble recovery. He always seems to be in the right place at the right time, whether it's for a fumble recovery against BA or making tackles like he just did.
It's imperative with that 3-4 defense Father Ryan runs that those defensive linemen can get pressure. So no gain on that one as we reach the 10-minute mark of the first quarter. Irish lead 7-0. It's a flea flicker, throwing deep.
Ooh.
And incomplete. Receiver was open. Rory White, a very dangerous two-way player for this JP2 team, probably their best receiver. The play design seemed to work out well, but a bit too much air under that one, and that's going to be part of the challenge for Father Ryan in this game, trying to contain quarterback Ben Nixon, both with him the capacity to run the ball, and he's not shy about contact, more throwing deep as he did there.
Certainly, Lou. That was a very good play design, as you mentioned, and they would have had a touchdown if Ben Nixon would have put a little bit better pass on that one.
It's a 4-receiver look on 3rd and 10. Nixon in the pocket's going to step up. He's going to run with the ball, finally tackled at the Irish 37-yard line. Good job there defensively. Is it Austin Crow again?
Austin Crow again on the tackle.
That will set up 4th and 5 for the Knights. 9:37 to go, first quarter. Father Ryan leads 7-0. And it appears JP2 in that no man's land. Can't really punt from this position. Too long for a field goal in all likelihood.
This definitely is that no man's land for any high school football team, unless you have a kicker who can make it a 50-yard field goal.
So on 4th and 6, the Irish defensively trying to get the stop. It's a throw to the far side, complete. He has the first down. Irish defense will stop the receiver at the 25-yard line. They'll say it was Keaton with his second catch of this drive. And on 4th down, JP2 converts.
This Pope John Paul II passing game looks to be very efficient to start this game. Obviously, they tried to run the ball in their first possession. Unfortunately for Knight fans, they fumbled on the first play. Father Ryan got the score, but JP2 is marching down the field right here. Not a good look for the Irish defense. 9:07
to go, first quarter. Father Ryan leads 7-0. And again, working out of the shotgun, it's Nixon. H-back moves towards the near side. It's a handoff to Underhill, and he ran into a couple of Irish defenders. See Jackson Bird getting up from that inside linebacker position. Austin Crow also near the tackle.
As I've mentioned, Lou, I'm no offensive coordinator, but from what I've seen so far today, JP2 has been very effective in the passing game, and they've probably averaged maybe 1 yard a carry for these first few runs for Underhill. So, I would try to keep passing the ball here for the Knights.
Bit of a crazy formation here. 5 receivers, and it's what you might call a wildcat look. Brooks Haggerty. Haggerty's going to keep it himself, running near the 20-yard line, finally brought down for perhaps a 5-yard gain.
That formation is what you call eye candy. It's not a usual formation that high school teams will do. But that's basically just to get the defense moving and thinking about what could possibly happen, and obviously it's just a 4-yard run.
So an unusual look. They had to spread out that Father Ryan defense to try and set up the run up the middle. Able to get, they'll say, 4 yards. So approaching 8 minutes in the first quarter, Father Ryan leads JP2 by the score of 7-0. So on 3rd and 6, 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far. The toss to Underhill, complete to the 20. To the 18, he'll be stopped well short of the first down. He needed to get to inside the 16 of the Irish. And so another 4th down now for JP2.
Great job by the Irish defense, staying strong. Jackson Bird and a plethora of other Father Ryan defenders on the tackle there. And let's see what Pope John Paul elects to do here on 4th and short.
Looks like they're lining up as if they're going to go for it. Nicholas Zanger is their kicker. And he's got a leg. He had a couple of touchbacks. The video I saw of him. But on this play, JP2 will leave the offense in. Ben Nixon, the quarterback. Nolan Underhill at running back. And it's a handoff to Underhill. He finds a seam, cuts it toward the far side to the 10. 1 man to beat. Finally brought down inside the Father Ryan 5-yard line. Good effort there. David Ward, the junior, making the tackle.
Not what you want to see if you're the Irish defense on 4th and short. Obviously, you basically know what's coming with a short run play. There is the possibility with a play action look that JP2 could run, but that's an impressive run by Underhill.
Father Ryan leads 7-0 as we approach the 7-minute mark of the first quarter. But the Knights looking at 1st and goal from the Irish 5. Man in motion, a high snap. Nixon under pressure, will be brought down for a 2 or 3 yard loss. Ben Smith, the tackle for loss there for that Irish defense.
Ben Smith, one of these senior leaders on this Irish defense, he's been a very stout player. It seems like he's always on the field on this for this defense, and he's making big plays already here in this game.
Houston Crouch and Hunter Hopkins into the game for the Irish on 2nd and goal from the 7 for JP2 with a man in motion to the near side. Hand off to Underhill. And there just is not much room at all there. Good job of the Father Ryan defense to close up the gaps. Appeared that Austin Crow may have made that stop.
Coach Rector is livid on the sideline right now. He wanted a fumble to be called. Austin Crow tried to rip it out, but the refs aren't buying Coach Rector's argument, and it's going to be 3rd and long.
Approaching 6 minutes in the first quarter, Father Ryan leads 7-0. May have been close there on that look for a fumble, but they call it on the field in high school football. No delays for replay. So on 3rd and goal, it's trips receivers to the near side, 1 to the far. Nixon, the quarterback, throws a slant complete into the end zone. Touchdown, Pope John Paul II High School. And they're an extra point away from tying this one up.
What a pass there by Ben Nixon on the quick slant route. It didn't look like Father Ryan was ready for that play at all, and JP2 is surprising some folks. Whoever's watching this game, whoever is at this game, this offense for the Knights looks very good, and the Irish is going to have to make some changes.
Rory White had a touchdown reception 2 weeks ago against Lipscomb Academy. Bit of a low snap. Kick is up. Plenty of leg into that. And the extra point is good by Zanger. So with 5:43 to go here in the first quarter, we're tied up at 7. We'll be right back here on ATW Sportscast. .543 to go, first quarter. Father Ryan, after getting up 7-0, sees Pope John Paul II High School drive down the field, get a touchdown of their own, and that has us tied up here at 7 midway through the first quarter.
As I mentioned, we were talking off air. JP2's offense looks very impressive, just marching down the field against this Irish defense. They've shown against, obviously, BA, It did not seem to be very effective offensively, but they're showing here tonight. They're going to be here, and they're going to be here all night for these Irish fans.
Nicholas Zanger, the long kickoff field at the 2 by the Irish, to the 15, to the 20. To the near side, it's Irwin to the 30, has a seam to the 40, to the 45, still on his feet, brought down. Late flag comes in as he stopped at the Irish 48-yard line.
Nice return by Gray Irwin. We all know how quick he is, and he also has blazing speed. There's a flag on the field.
And that penalty flag came in rather late. We'll see what the call is. More often than not, when you say flag on a kick return, it's against the return team. And indeed, that is the case here. This is a holding call against the Irish. We'll mark it back 10 yards from the spot of the foul. The Walker back from the 42, so it'll be Father Ryan starting at its own 32 for its second offensive possession of this game.
It's only a 10-yard difference, but 10 yards that's a big margin. In this game tonight, you're going to need all the yards you can get, especially with most people think this might be more of a ground-out game, but this could be a shootout tonight.
It's entirely possible. Both teams have the capacity to put some points on the board. So with 5:32 to go first quarter in this game tied at 7, the Irish fake the handoff. O'Connell throwing deep, a rainbow pass to Irwin, but about 3 or 4 yards too deep. Man coverage, step for step. Garrett Goodwin. He was beaten for a touchdown against BA in the red zone last week, but on that one, the throw over the head of both of them, and that sets up second down.
Houston Crouch was in there at running back, and the threat of him running the ball was able to attract the JP2 cornerbacks, and Gray Irwin was released. He had his man beat, and a better throw, that probably would have been a touchdown for the Irish. 4
receivers, 2 to either side on this 2nd and 10 for Father Ryan. It's a handoff. Houston Crouch has the past the 40, brought down at the Irish 41-yard line, about 1 yard shy of the first down marker.
Right, as I mentioned, Mr. Crouch, he makes a nice 9-yard gain, and we've seen him throughout this year get carries, but maybe not as much as he might like to, but next year will be Crouch's year, and he's just getting ready for next year.
William Riley into the game for the Irish, a 5-receiver look. Nick Miller not playing tonight for the Irish, out with an injury. So Father Ryan spreading the field out, 6 in the box for JP2. With 5 seconds on the play clock, it's a shotgun. O'Connell feels the pressure, steps up, and he's going to be brought down for a loss. John Martinez had a sack against BA, had a sack against Lipscomb. And a tackle for loss there. Oh, there's a flag down.
And this flag is going to be an offsetting penalty between James Wright of JP2 and Austin Crow of Father Ryan. They shoved each other after the play was over. Not quite sure why, but you never like to see that if you're both coaches.
It's going to be interesting to see if they said that happened after the play. And indeed, you're correct, Billy, in that assessment. So unsportsmanlike conduct penalties against both teams.
And that's not a typical call we see in high school football games because, I mean, there have been fights in high school football games, but not with this Catholic rivalry. Guys like to show sportsmanship, and with both coaches, you don't want to see that.
Okay, they moved it back to the 38. They're saying 4th and 4. I don't quite. Whatever the case, that's what they're saying. It appears that Jackson Bird's going to punt. JP2 reacts late, bringing some guys back. Bird gets a high spinning kick up into the air. Fair catch, made fumble. Ball hits the turf. There's a scramble for it underneath there.
Looks like JP2 kept it. And
indeed, JP2 is able to hold on to that one. So they had a couple of issues on fumbled kicks and 1 turnover already due to the fumble.
That was about as high of a punt as I've ever seen in a live football game. And you just mentioned JP2 was late getting a punt returner onto the field, and it was hard enough to even get ready for that punt, much less have it at that high and have to keep your eyes on it the entire time.
3rd offensive possession for the Knights. Game tied at 7, 4:25 to go first quarter. The officials on the far side having a quick conversation. And so they'll wind the clock. It's a 3-receiver look on first down. Nixon stares down his receiver on the far side, complete to the 45. Pushed out of bounds at maybe the 48-yard line. Like Brendan Keaton again. Or check that, was number 8. So Nick Prott with a reception there. I really don't have a good excuse for the numbers tonight. Those JP2 uniforms, brand new for this year, very easily legible. So 2nd and 2 after the 8-yard completion to Prott. That'll be another 3-receiver look for the Knights. 2 to the near side with Nixon out of the shotgun. Slide the H back over toward the near side to set. Nixon throws downfield, complete. It's going to be a first down, brought down at the 44-yard line. Starting to mix the ball around a bit. Brooks Haggerty on the reception.
And after that reception, Lou, JP2 is running a little bit of a hurry-up offense, and they're going to run the same formation we just saw a few moments ago on the last possession.
They've got that weird bunch look to the far side, 3 receivers to the far, 2 to the near. And Haggerty, who just had that reception, again in the Wildcat spot with 16 seconds on the play clock and less than 4 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Haggerty's going to keep it himself, running up the middle of the 40 to the 35. He has the first down, finally tackled by Irwin at the Father Ryan 33-yard line.
Once again, Pope John Paul II is efficiently marching down the field, and this Irish defense is either going to have to call a timeout, get a turn, force a turnover, or just find a way to make a stop, because they cannot let this happen each possession.
This is new for, unless they did it in the first half against Whites Creek, that wasn't available online. But from everything else I saw from them, they have not run this formation at all. So another 5-receiver look, maybe a false start on the fullback. And indeed, whistle blows. I think Brendan Keaton may have been a little bit quick to move.
And this is an interesting formation because it looks like Haggerty has the ability to read the defense and decide whether or not he wants to run the ball or throw, the screen pass. Like, obviously the play didn't develop, but we saw the screen pass to number 3, Brendan Keaton. And Brendan Keaton had space. There was a penalty, but he had space to run. And, that's sort of what this formation gives you offensively.
Yeah, it wasn't fair really to pin that on him as far as the false start. I believe it was one of the other players for JP2. So on 1st and 15, approaching the 3-minute mark of the first quarter, tied up at 7. It's a throw complete. Finally brought down to the 31-yard line. Brendan Keaton with another reception for the Knights.
That was a nice job by number 15, Anthony Wright, for the Irish. He's a very bright young star for this defense, getting a lot of playing time, starting at it looks like that nickel position. They listed it as a safety, but he plays inside. He plays inside for run support. Could be dangerous to play inside too much, but it definitely helps you in run support.
Imperative to be able to read the run properly as a safety, or if you're bringing in for run support. So on 2nd and 8, JP2, another quick pass in and out of the hands, unless he pulled it at the last second. No, he did not. Intended for Rory White. Already has 1 touchdown on the evening for JP2.
Thus far, I know I keep talking about JP2's offense, but I've been really impressed with the chemistry that Ben Nixon and his receivers have. They seem to be perfectly on time, basically every throw, other than maybe a couple missed throws by Nixon, but he's looked very sharp here, and this is a pleasant surprise for Knight fans, and maybe a little bit of a shocker for this Irish defense.
And again, JP2 will spread things out with trips receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side on that near hash, and as a quick throw in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. Number 26, Brooks Haggerty, unable to bring that one in.
Yeah, and Haggerty, I don't think he might have gained 2 yards on that play, but the Irish were ready to tackle Haggerty. And this is a big stop for the Irish, because if JP2 would have kept marching, you saw a penalty, you saw an incompletion. But, it's always tough to see with the Irish defense, how they're developing, but this is a big stop.
JP2 on its last possession was 2 for 2 on 4th down attempts. They're going to try once again. They're going to line up to go for it. 4 receivers, 3 to the far side. 5 seconds on the play clock. It's Nixon and the gun. Another quick throw, and it's complete. And that will move the chains for JP2. Good reception right there, Rory White. And those quick throws, this is a lot different than what I saw in video from this JP2 team where it seemed like Nixon would run all day in the pocket and wait for somebody to get open.
And give credit to JP2 offensively. Their offensive coordinator has drawn up a great game plan, and this almost reminds me of a game we're going to be seeing tomorrow night. I know you'll probably be watching Oklahoma and Ohio State. Oklahoma, the air raid style. Baker Mayfield doesn't have the receivers he has last year, but this offense sort of helps the receivers out a lot because it's these quick routes.
So on first down, it's a play fake. Nixon's going to scramble a bit and be brought down for a sack. Nice job of that Father Ryan defense collapsing the whole. David Russell on the stop.
And you saw quarterback Nixon. He looked to the left side. He could have either thrown it to Keaton on the screen pass or the go route down the left side, and that's the read he makes on that play. But no, he didn't like those options, and so he decided to tuck it and run. But the Irish was ready for that one.
Approaching the 1 minute mark of the first quarter, tied at 7. 2nd and 16. Ball at the Irish 23. Bit of a high snap. Underhill with a handoff. He'll gain maybe 2 yards before being brought down to the middle of the field.
And I talked about the overall, effectiveness of this JP2 offense. But this offensive line has been able to get some solid push. We saw maybe the first possession, not as good push and not as good, effectiveness from this offensive line from JP2. But they've been able to, these last couple plays, get some solid push on the Irish D-line.
Father Ryan switching in some players on this 3rd and long. Niles Gaddy comes to the sideline. It's 3 receivers with a running back going toward the far side. Nixon in the pocket, gets rid of it just in time. Wide open receiver in the end zone. Touchdown, JP2, Nolan Underhill with the reception.
And this Father Ryan defense, I mentioned it, Lou, they're going to have to make some changes. They're going to have to make some changes, whether it's back off on the pressure, because it looks like they've been blitzing their linebackers. But this secondary, I'm going to have to say it, they have struggled. They have struggled with these quick routes. And, they've been throwing the quick slant routes and screens, but they hit you deep with a corner, post route to the corner of the end zone, and they score.
Keep in mind, Father Ryan no longer able to use O'Connell, their quarterback, and it's secondary. The extra point is up and good. So with 22.6 seconds to go here in the first quarter, JP2 takes the lead, 14-7. We'll be right back here on ATW Sportscast. So here at Giacosa Stadium on the campus of Father Ryan High School, the Irish, after getting off to a 7-0 lead, have seen JP2 score a pair of touchdowns with both drives, including 4th down conversions. And now the impetus is on Father Ryan's offense to get a counterpunch.
And hopefully, Lou, for Irish fans out there, they're hoping that this lights a fire under this Irish offense to march down the field the same way as JP2 has recently.
The kickoff by Zanger crosses the plane to the goal line. So it'll be the automatic touchback, 1st and 10 Irish at their own 20.
And Lou, as I mentioned, this Irish offense has to get back on track. We saw the first possession. Seamus O'Connell was very effective running the ball. I mentioned on 2nd down he had plenty of room to run. So if I'm the Irish offense, I try to pound the ball with Jackson Bird and then maybe try to run Seamus O'Connell effectively. But, this JP2 defense is stingy. They're not very big, but they know how to play defense.
Antonio Wright in at running back. It's a bit of a problem with the snap. Wright's going to pick it up, make something out of nothing, get maybe a 3 or 4 yard gain.
That's a break for the Irish. That could have been very dangerous. That could have led JP2 to be in the red zone automatically, but instead it's a decent 2-yard run, and the Irish offense can work with that.
And that will be the last play of the first quarter. So after 1, your score, Pope John Paul II High School 14, Father Ryan 7. We'll be back in just a moment here on ATW Sportscast. U.S. up 7-0. So we begin the second quarter here at Giacosa Stadium. Father Ryan on second down. It's a handoff Jackson Bird to the 30. He has a first down, finally brought down at the 36-yard line. So the Irish going with their top running back, Bird, and he's able to move the chains.
And that's the start you want to this possession for the Irish. You get a nice run by Jackson Bird, a solid first down, and let's see if the Irish can continue to play.
4 receivers, 2 to either side on 1st and 10. Again, Jackson Bird brings it to the near side to the 45, plunges forward for the first down. Finally brought down in Knight's territory at perhaps their 48-yard line.
Keep feeding the beast. You know, when you get a first down, most offensive coordinators will go right back to that play. And here on the third play, it looks like they could have the potential to running the same play 3 straight times. Let's see if they try to fake this play and maybe go play action.
They slowed up just a little bit to talk things over, it seems. Well, they haven't moved the chains yet. The officials are having a bit of a conversation. This may help to the Knights out, although it's going to go, they're marching it off here. I was going to say help them from a momentum standpoint.
I never saw a call.
And I didn't either, but they're going to say face mask on the tackle against JP2. So the Irish, with this offensive possession, have got the ball all the way down to the Knights' 33-yard line for 1st and 10. 11:40 to go second quarter. Father Ryan trails 14-7.
You'll take it if you're the Irish. You will take anything offensively because this is a stingy defense, as we mentioned.
Houston Crouch in the game. He'll get the handoff to the near side. Good block opening up for the 25 to the 20. Finally brought down into the red zone. Tackle made. Rory White playing on both sides of the ball for this JP2 team, but a good run by Crouch. And the Father Ryan depth at running back paying off. And it's quick to the line for the Irish. 4 receivers, 2 to either side. Down by 7. They're trying to bring this one back to level. A handoff Houston Crouch to get maybe 3 yards on the play.
The Irish are trying to go very quickly, impose their will. That is what the Irish are trying to do here with their plethora of running backs. You've seen Bird. You've seen Crouch. We have not seen Lombardi in there. He does have a cast on his left wrist, actually, so not sure if we'll be seeing Lombardi tonight. But we've gotten a really good look at these Irish running backs on this possession.
Jackson Bird at running back. The 3 receiver look out of the shotgun. It's going to be a handoff to Bird. Nice cut back to the near side to the 10. Gets a block to the 5 to the corner. Touchdown Irish. Jackson Bird with a 16-yard run, and the Irish are an extra point away from tying this one up.
What a possession, what a drive for the Irish. Not a single passing play. You impose your will on this Knights defense and show what your offensive line is all about. It seems like the offensive line coach for the Irish, Coach Shaver, has lit a fire under his line and told them to block for these backs.
Good hold, good snap. And the extra point is good, so we'll keep it here. 10:52 to go second quarter. The Irish have tied things up at 14. And it has been a very exciting game so far, Billy.
It really has. This has been an electrifying game. If you're a fan of either of these teams, we see JP2 student section getting up and loud. Obviously, we know about the jungle, and we know for the first home game, the first official home game for this Irish team, they will be loud and proud here tonight. And we'll have to see how this Irish defense responds to a very disappointing start.
For Father Ryan, part of the goal is to recapture the Bishop's Cup last season, losing for only the 3rd time ever to this JP2 squad. So now for Father Ryan, we've seen 2 kickoffs that have gone to about the 25-yard line, give or take. That'll be Wesnowski ready to kick. But some good blocks on that drive. Not only some good runs, but good technique, good schemes. And that paved the way for the Irish to tie it up.
I'm not saying don't give credit to Bird and Crouch on that drive, but you could have basically driven a bus through those holes that the line provided.
So Wesnowski, a squib fielded at the 36, 37-yard line, finally brought down near the 40 for JP2. Larkin Kruthofer once again handling that intermediate length kick.
And Lou, with 10 minutes left, just over 10 minutes left until halftime, we've got a tie game. I've mentioned all night that this Irish defense have to make some changes, and it seems like they have brought in the safeties a little bit closer to the line to help with pressuring and run support because they've dominated. This O-line has dominated the Irish D-line.
It's a 3 receiver look. 1st and 10, a throw to the far side, completed the 40 to the 45. brought down to the 48-yard line, 8-yard reception. On the play once again, Rory White targeted. That sets up second and 2, I should say.
Rory White is a guy with good height. He's a pretty quick guy, and this is he seems to be JP2's leading receiver that Ben Nixon will go to very often.
And he's only a sophomore.
Wow. He's got a bright future.
I have to agree. It's a 4-receiver look on this 2nd and 2. Teasing the jet sweep. Instead, it's going to be Nixon keeping himself. Gets past the 50-yard line and should have the first down for JP2. Nixon's a fearless runner. That's one thing. He hasn't done that much of it tonight, but he's not afraid to take a hit. He'll go to that last second.
It's going to be up. It's going to be first down.
They're going to spot with the nose of the ball right at the 50, and that's enough to move the chains. 10:03 and counting second quarter. Father Ryan and JP2 all tied up at 14. Be a 4-receiver look, 2 to either side on this 1st and 10 from right at midfield for JP2. Nixon will bring the man in motion. Tease the jet sweep. A flag comes in. Appears a false start against the Knights.
And that is the call indeed. And this Knights offense has sort of been held back by some recent penalties. Not what you want to see if you're Coach Geisinger on the sideline for the Knights. And if you're the Irish defense, as we've talked about, you will take anything basically here in this game.
So 9:36 to go second quarter. Father Ryan 14, JP2 14. Now 1st and 15. They'll go trips receivers to the near side, 1 to the far. Nixon out of the shotgun. Underhill next to him. It's a handoff. No, it's not. It's a fake. Good job on the fake. Nixon will pick up maybe 3 yards on the play.
That didn't just fake out Austin Crow. It faked out, both me and you, and it seems to be most of the people here at the stadium. But, short gain and nice job there by the Irish defense.
Seeing substitutions made on both sides in this back-and-forth rivalry battle. 9 minutes to go second quarter. We're tied up at 14. So on 2nd and 12, the same look we had in the last play. They tease the jet sweep. They teased it once again. Nixon double pumps, throws, complete. Jackson Bird with the tackle as the Knights move into Irish territory at the 47.
Lou, we saw in the last couple possessions these Irish corners, they were playing a little bit too deep, it seemed to be, and now they seem to pressure in on these receivers for JP2, and it's helped. It has certainly helped, and it's proven to be a helpful proposition here on that last play.
Fogg and Hopkins, the corners just switched sides of the field for whatever reason. So on 3rd and 6, 8:16 to go first half, Nixon will work out of the shotgun. He's under pressure. They set up the screen, complete to Underhill, gets past the 40 as the first down, finally tackled to the Father Ryan 33-yard line.
And if you're an offensive coordinator for JP2, if you see a team bring pressure, what you typically want to do, you know you're not going to have time to throw deep down the field on 3rd and long, so you set up a nice screen pass. We see this all the time in college and the NFL, and that's exactly what JP2 did a nice job of doing.
They'll say the ball is at the Father Ryan, just inside the Father Ryan 34-yard line. 8 minutes to go, second quarter. Irish and Knights are tied up at 14. 1st and 10. More bunched up formation. And this time it will be a jet sweep to the far side, maybe a 2-yard gain. Brendan Keaton, who has a few receptions on the night already, goes for the run, but not a whole lot there.
Preston Cook showing off his speed. I wasn't sure if the running back there for JP2 was able to get the edge, and he did not. Preston Cook is another senior leader here on this Irish defense, did a nice job of making sure JP2 is not able to get the edge there.
7:23 and counting first half. This rivalry game all knotted up at 14. 2nd and 9. Nixon throws to the far side, complete, forced out of bounds after maybe a 5-yard gain. And again, Nixon going with the quick throw. Rory White, again, a popular target at 6'3". Why not? He's easily their best receiver from what I've seen on video and here tonight.
And as you mentioned, the quick route running there by Rory Wright, he's matched up right now with Marcel Fogg. Hunter Hopkins was just on him. They switch again.
And it's that quick throw that has been the MO for the most part of the passing game for the Knights. A flag comes in. Is it another procedure or false start penalty?
Yep.
So JP2 with some self-inflicted wounds with these false starts. It's good for the Irish, not so good for the Knights. So instead of 3rd and 2, they'll be looking at 3rd and 7 at the Irish 31-yard line.
That's a big 5-yard difference. We've talked about the yardage differences here tonight, and this is I can't impact this statement enough that is a huge impact on tonight's game.
You have a lot fewer options on 3rd and 7 than you do at 3rd and 2.
No doubt.
It's Nixon out of the gun.
Boutet's coming.
Jack Boutet manages to get away from him, throws downfield, in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, incomplete, and that brings up 4th and 7.
What great pressure there by Jack Boutet. Obviously, he was left unblocked, and that's not a very smart idea to leave Mr. Jack Boutet unblocked.
Very dangerous play. The JP2 with these quick passes has been almost daring Father Ryan to bring in the blitz or bring in that pressure from the defensive line. Boutet, a all-region selection 1 year ago. Commitment to play at Air Force next year. So 4th and 7. JP2 is 3 for 3 on 4th down in this game. Got 3 receivers to the near side. Nixon under pressure, throwing deep. Man coverage with Fogg right there, and it falls incomplete. Nice. So the Irish finally get the stop on a 4th down. It's a turnover on downs. And with 6:12 to go here in the first half, and a game tied at 14, Father Ryan's offense gets back out there.
And Rory Wright had just a step ahead of Marcel Fogg, but Fogg showed his speed and was able to make a nice play, sort of like Richard Sherman typically does in the NFL for the Seahawks. And that was a nice play and a clutch play here for the Irish with 6 minutes left till halftime.
Closing speed, such a wonderful trait to have if you're a cornerback, and Fogg has played so well for the Irish this season. Father Ryan on this offensive possession will start with 3 receivers, 2 to the near side, handoff Houston Crouch to the far side. Gain maybe 5 yards. Rory White, who's all over the place it seems like, made the tackle.
And this is good news for the Irish. They are able to get the running game established. And when you get the running game established, it's such a key for anyone playing football, because whether you're in the NFL or college, this opens up the passing game.
Antonio Wright replaces Crouch at running back. He'll run up the middle. Finally brought down maybe a yard shy of the first down marker for a 4-yard gain, or maybe less than that. Trying to tell they had spotted it from before. So 3rd and 1 after perhaps a 3-yard carry. Well, check that. They're going to ultimately say the spot at the 41-yard line of the Irish. Certainly Father Ryan will take that. 5:28 to go second quarter, and the game tied at 14. The H-back moving towards the near side, kind of a long count. And it's a handoff to Jackson Bird. And there wasn't a whole lot of room there on that one. Something that I've noticed before, not so much tonight, but in previous games for JP2, they love to use that outside linebacker blitz, particularly against the run. That can be dangerous, of course, if the team is able to beat them deep.
It's always dangerous when you try to blitz linebackers, but if you know how to do it effectively, it can really help in the run support. Again,
a handoff Jackson Bird on 2nd and long. They'll get the ball close to the Father Ryan 45-yard line. They need to get it to the JP2 49. So it'll be 3rd and 6. 4:39 to go here in the first half, and a game tied at 14.
And what you're seeing now for the Irish offense is to try to, on 1st and 2nd down, try to gain as many yards as you can. And you never know. You could break off a long run. So it's a win-win situation. And now you're 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6 instead of 3rd and long.
Bird is the running back as they send Ruers in motion. He can throw that ball. He will. He's going to throw a deep pass. Incomplete. It was intended for O'Connell. Seamus O'Connell, who played wide receiver last year. Irish tried the trick play. He was open, but Ruers had a little bit too much mustard on that one. And it'll be 4th down for Father Ryan.
Should be 21-14 right now, Lou. That was they had it right at the fingertips. I mean, just maybe 3 more feet behind for Seamus O'Connell. That would have been a touchdown. Seamus has speed. He tried as much as he could to run under that pass. It just was not able to.
Here's Jackson Bird, who's Father Ryan's primary punter when they're not using the quarterback punt, the sneak punt, on this 4th and 6. Another high spinning kick. Take a bounce.
Need to get a good bounce.
Got a nice roll for the Irish. Hit at the 25-yard line. Finally will be down at the 15-yard line of JP2. So Father Ryan finally stymied on that offensive possession, but a good punt for Bird. Both teams are quick to get back out there. I'm afraid to take a break because it seems like they're both in a hurry to get things going.
Yeah, that would that'd be a very quick break if we took a break there. But again, here, 4 minutes left till halftime. This Irish defense has seemed to make some changes, make some quick changes on the sideline, and let's see what Mr. Ben Nixon has in store for the fans.
Irish are going to have Fogg, the cornerback, lined up on White. He's a jet sweep. It's a handoff to Underhill, and Jackson Bird closed that hole in a hurry.
Yeah, we just mentioned leaving Boutte unblocked. There's a lot of other Father Ryan players that you don't want to leave unblocked because it's not going to end well for your offense.
The clock rolls as JP2's quick to get to the line of scrimmage, 20 seconds on the play clock. They've got 3 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. It's a quick screen and dropped. Intended for Brendan Keaton. And so it's been another case of the drops for the Knights. That makes it 3rd and 10 for JP2, 3:31 to go first half. This game tied up at 14.
And this is certainly an encouraging sight for Irish fans. Very impressive end to this first half for the Irish defense. And if they can get a stop here on 3rd down, get the ball in their possession once again, with 3 timeouts remaining, you have a chance to go down and score.
It's a 3-receiver look for Pope John Paul II High School on this 3rd and 10. Under pressure, Nixon throws deep, about 10 yards deep over the intended receiver. A trio of flags are thrown in.
It's going to be pass interference on the Irish.
So it appears that JP2 bailed out on that one. Ball that went about 10 yards beyond any player, but if they say interference kept the running back from able to make that catch, or the receiver, I should say, from making that catch, they're going to move the chains. So Father Ryan flagged for the penalty, pass interference the call, and it's a fresh set of downs for the Knights with 3:25 to go here in the first half and a game tied at 14.
That's discouraging for Irish fans. You saw that would have been a 3rd down stop. If you're an Irish defender, I'm not trying to knock some of the Irish corners that were called on that play right there, but if you sort of had to look up at the throw. If you know where the throw is, that will help you in your coverage of your receiver.
So Irish have David Ward in as one of the safety positions. They do some mixing and matching, trying to get the matchups the way they want them. Again, we see Marcel Fogg on the near side, the corner number 6 for the Irish, lined up against the star receiver number 15, Rory White for JP2. 1st and 10 Knights, 3:25 to go, first half, and a game tied at 14. It's a handoff to Underhill. He had a hole for a moment, made it through that hole, and finally brought down at the Knights' 37-yard line, 7-yard gain on that carry.
That was a nice job by David Ward. You just mentioned he looks good at safety right now, coming up in run support with a nice hit on Underhill. And it looked like Underhill might have been hurt a little bit after that, but he's a tough guy, and it's going to be 2nd and short. A manageable situation here for the Knights.
Underhill's a senior, 5'11", 170. His breakaway speed makes good cuts. Certainly a dangerous running back for this Knights team. So JP2 will use its first timeout. 2:53 to go here in the first half. Game tied up at 14. We'll be right back here on ATW Sportscast. .253 to go in the first half. Father Ryan and JP2 tied up at 14. After a timeout, the Knights looking at a 2nd and 3, ball at their own 37-yard line. Nixon, the quarterback, has it, will keep it, throw it over the middle, complete to the 45 to the 50. Better make a tackle to the 40. Irwin tries to catch him and finally has him slip away to the 15. Finally brought down inside Father Ryan's red zone. Brendan Keaton atoning for that earlier drop in this drive. A huge gain for the Knights.
And right as we talk about the quick adjustments for JP2, they strike again with a play-action, quick slant pass that has been working for them all night.
So with 2:41 to go, they'll wind the clock as soon as the chains move. Had a ways to get down the field. Spread it out a bit. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 way off to the far side. They bring an H back for protection on this near side. It's going to be a keeper by Nixon. Runs up the middle. Close to the goal line.
He's gonna be in.
Touchdown, Pope John Paul II High School. Nixon on the QB keeper makes it 20-14 with 2:17 to go here in the first half. Extra point pending.
Yeah, and the big play there was the quick strike slant pass to number 3, Brendan Keaton, and that set up a nice read action play by Ben Nixon.
Nixon does have that good field vision. So Nicholas Zanger lining up for the extra point. And it's no good. Trouble on the hold.
Gray Irwin with the pressure there on the edge.
So JP2 with a touchdown, unable to convert on the extra point. Now holding a 6-point lead, 20-14, 2:17 to go here in the first half. Father Ryan with all 3 of its timeouts remaining. And it's going to be interesting to see if Father Ryan goes back to the heavy use of the running game, rushing attack, which by and large has been successful for them in this first half, or if they open up a bit with the passing game.
I would think JP2 would, sort of develop a defensive strategy to stop Father Ryan's run game right here because, but then again, if you're Father Ryan and you see them load the box, run maybe a few run plays to Bird or Crouch, and then maybe hit him with a deep pass to maybe surprise this JP2 defense.
And that's the idea. You want to draw those safeties in, get those linebackers cheating in, and then you go deep. So the Knights of Pope John Paul II High School leading Father Ryan 20-14, 2 minutes, 17 seconds to go here in the first half. The Irish will be able to receive the ball to start the second half since they won the opening coin toss and deferred. Zanger's kickoff will be fielded at the 12-yard line to the 20, to the 25, to the 30, to the 35, to the 40. Has some room, finally brought down at the 47-yard line. Gray Irwin. Nice return for the Irish.
And that sets up great field position. They are already setting up. It looks like the ref will set the ball very close to the 50-yard line, somewhere near the 47 or the 48, or it looks like the 46 actually. So, but this Irish team, we will see what they can do on offense. They have 3 timeouts, hopefully getting at least near the red zone, close to the goal line. If not, a field goal chance for Wesnowski. Doesn't have. He's a freshman, doesn't have the strongest leg, so you would have to get close to maybe the 10, even the 20-yard line for his range, but let's see what the offense can do here.
Father Ryan showing potential pass on this 1st and 10 with 4 receivers, 2 to either side. Player moves into the neutral zone. Not sure if it was a false start for Father Ryan or if they were...
Pope John Paul II was bringing pressure. They had a couple guys on the line of scrimmage.
And the rule is if defensive player's in the neutral zone and an offensive player moves, it's against the defense. Mm-hmm. But if there was a flinch or something like that from Father Ryan, it would be against the Irish, and indeed that is the call. So Father Ryan, with 2:10 to go in the first half, had what was good field position to start off this drive, now looking at 1st and 15 from their own 41.
And thanks to the return from Irwin, rather than being set up at your own 20 or 30-yard line, you're at the 41-yard line. You're basically eventually going to pass the 50 and get into, Pope John Paul II's field position.
Jackson Bird pushing forward. He's got that strength. He keeps his legs churning on every play, and he picked up enough to move the ball into JP2 territory. Irish quick to the line at the Knights 49, 2nd and 6. And it's going to be a keeper. O'Connell to the far side, flag down. He has the first down, but we'll wait to see what the penalty is.
I'm not quite sure why you don't keep running Seamus O'Connell. I know there's a holding call right there, but he has been effective maybe 3 carries tonight. That's it. But Seamus O'Connell has been seen to hand it off to his running backs tonight. I know they will probably run more of him in the second half, but I'd like to see more of it here before halftime.
So holding is the call against the Irish. One thing to keep in mind with O'Connell, with Father Ryan already having lost Cade Pfeiffer for the year with a knee injury, the 3rd-string quarterback starting the year, a freshman, DC Tamscott. So 2nd and 15, 1:39 counting. They set up the screen to Bird. It's complete to the 40. Has it to midfield. To the 45. Has the first down to the 40. Has some blockers. Stays on his feet. Cuts it back to the 30. Still finally brought down at the JP2 25-yard line. First down, Irish.
That's JP2 just ran the same exact play we talked about on third downs. What do? If the pressure's coming, you drop it off to Jackson Bird, and here the Irish are very close. They're at the 25-yard line.
That's one of the keys to the game for the Irish, getting those linebackers to pay the price when they bring the blitz. So quickly back up. It's going to be Houston Crouch in the game, bursting through, finally brought down at the 17-yard line. So a minute 16 and counting. Irish all 3 timeouts. And they're going to move fast back to the line.
And they've elected to run the ball. You typically see teams here before halftime pass the ball, but the Irish, they have a different offensive style, and they're going to take a timeout.
JP2 using its second timeout, so the Knights will have 1 remaining, all 3 still for Father Ryan. Looking at second, it'd be a long one, more like a 2nd and 2. They have to reach the 15-yard line to get a first down. And what has been a back-and-forth exciting game between these two rivals.
It certainly has, Lou, and it has lived up to the billing. It really has. If you're an Irish fan, you're fine with this start. You're still in the game. You're down. You're down in the game, but it's an encouraging start, and it seems to me that in the second half there's plenty of adjustments to make. And speaking on this possession here for the Irish, you have to get points. There's no way you go out of this, you go into the halftime locker room, and Coach Rector has to be happy with his team right now, but you have to go out with points, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown, preferably. Obviously a touchdown, but we're going to have to see here on this possession.
So they'll officially say 2nd and 2 with the ball spotted at the
In range of a Wesnowski field goal.
Less than a minute to go in the first half. 4 receivers. O'Connell steps up under pressure and will be brought down for a 1-yard loss. Father Ryan calls timeout. They have 2 remaining. But now they're looking at a 3rd and 14 after being in the red zone and looking at a 2nd and a long 2 just a couple of plays ago.
And Father Ryan's O-line there struggled on that last play to protect Seamus O'Connell. Seamus, we've seen him to be able to squeeze through those holes with it that the offensive line creates. He wasn't quite able to do that. And give credit to the JP2 D-line. They've looked really good tonight. And it's a position group that I was surprised they played that well tonight. And, the Irish they're struggling a little bit to protect Mr. O'Connell, but we will have to see what offensive coordinator Brett Taveau elects to do here as the Irish jog onto the field.
Saw the replay here on a delay, and it was an inside linebacker blitz. James Wright came up the middle, and while he didn't make the stop, he helped to flush O'Connell from the pocket, and that set up one of his teammates to make the stop. 3rd and 16 for Father Ryan. They trail Pope John Paul II High School 20-14. Late in this first half in the battle for the Bishop's Cup. 4 receiver look. Ball is tipped, incomplete. It was intended for Gray Irwin.
And that's a screen pass, and you're on the right hash, and you throw it to the right side. That's, it's not favorable. You typically throw that to the left side, but it was intended for Irwin, so that's a bright sign.
4th and 16 for Father Ryan, outside of field goal range, with Wesnowski, the freshman, having that relative limited range. So I'm not going to punt here. So 4th and 16, the Irish try their luck with a 3 receiver look. Good protection. O'Connell buys time, throws someone who gets his body into the end zone, intercepted by JP2. He brought it out of the end zone.
He's going to be down at the 1-yard line.
The 1-yard line. So just like last week where Father Ryan Hopkins had an interception, they would have been better off dropping. In that case, JP2 should have just knocked it down. Easy for me to say from up here in the heat of the action. It's almost counterintuitive, though, for a defensive back to knock the ball down and have a chance to pick it off. But a tough starting spot very late in this first half for JP2.
And Lou, this is encouraging for the Irish defense. Obviously, not for the offense there on that last possession. But let's see if we can get a safety here. Let's see. This is what fans are looking for right here on this possession. Dangerous spot to be in, as you mentioned.
And that ball just barely passed the goal line. Out of the gun. One receiver to the far side.
And he's going to go back under.
Under center, pushing forward. He gets pushed back into the end zone. It's a safety. So you called it, Billy. You said the Irish needed a safety. They could get one, and they did.
Wow.
On a QB sneak.
That's surprising. You typically don't see that on a quarterback sneak, the line being able to push him into the end zone.
So that makes it 20-16. Irish getting 2 points for that safety, and now it will be a free kick by JP2. The Irish still have 2 timeouts left, 34.7 seconds to go in the first half. The defense getting the push against that offensive line of the Knights.
And Lou, we've talked about the defense under Brian Rector, and it seems like they've always been able to come up with these clutch plays to set up the offense. The Irish offense is playing well tonight. They're playing well, but penalties have held them back. And let's see if the Irish here on this punt from JP2, we'll see how deep of a punt JP2 gets. But this is going to be interesting to see if the Irish can quickly score. They only have 34 seconds, but they do this. That could be just enough time.
It's like William Riley, Gray Irwin, Anthony Wright, 3 receivers. Or I guess Wright's going to play more up as an up man, so 2 deep, along with 2. I got 2-2-2-5 look. Not every day you see the free kick after a safety.
And they're going to be kicking from the 20-yard line.
Set the ball on the tee. Their kicker, Nicholas Zanger, is one of their captains. He's both their punter, extra points, kickoffs, field goals. He does it all. And in this case, it'll be the free kick. He will opt to take it off of the tee at the 20.
And obviously, this is equivalent from the long snapper basically being set up close to the 30. So, you're basically seeing a reception close to the 40 or the 50 even. So we'll see how long this kick is.
He's got a pretty decent leg, but the further he kicks it, the more he could outkick his coverage. It's going to be a intermediate length kick fielded at the 46-yard line to the 50 into JP2 territory. The 45 spin move finally makes it near the 40-yard line. A nice return. Matthew Zito with the special teams play. The Irish have 29.5 seconds to go. 2 timeouts here in this first half. They trail by 4. And they'll be starting, we'll say, right at the 40-yard line of JP2.
Matthew Zito on the kick return there, he only gained about 8 yards, but he has speed of, he has some wheels on himself, and he's another bright young star, just a sophomore, and Coach Rector likes his athletic ability and his toughness.
We got some action last week against Stratford. Irish with 3 receivers to the far side, 1st and 10, 29.5 seconds to go in this first half. It's a play fake. O'Connell's throwing deep. He has Gray Irwin open, and it falls incomplete. Irish fans want a flag. They will not get one. Nicholas Pratt managed to. Now we see a flag now in the end zone. Good eye there, Billy, as I was looking down at some stats. Now that's not a spot of the foul penalty. Of course, be a 15-yard penalty, presuming it is against JP2. We'll see.
They had the ball at the 40-yard line, and he'll keep walking all the way. He'll keep walking all the way up to the 25-yard line. So that's a break for the Irish, and they're set up 5 yards away from the red zone.
Only 22 seconds to go in the first half. Irish 2 timeouts. The ball at the JP2 25-yard line. It's 4 receivers again, 2 to either side. O'Connell, nice protection. Throws a slant to Rector. Falls incomplete. Would have been a tough grab for Rector trying to get the low to bring it in. 17.3 seconds to go.
And that's not bad. You'd rather have an incomplete pass than obviously you'd like a reception there, but the incomplete pass is not a bad thing to happen right here. You still have 17 seconds. You would think here you're obviously going to pass the ball. If you set up a screen, that's going to waste a lot of time on the clock, so it looks like the Irish are going to keep heading to the end zone.
Trio of receivers to the far side, 1 to the near on this 2nd and 10. O'Connell rolls 15 seconds to go in this first half. Under pressure. He's going to go back the other way. It's very dangerous. 10 seconds. Throws a director. And it's caught.
Wow.
What a catch by Wyatt Rector. Irish are going to have to move quick or they use a timeout. They have 2 remaining. They're trying to move to the line of scrimmage quickly. They're going to wind the clock. Now you get the officials blowing the whistle. Father Ryan, this is what they should do here. They used their second timeout. So Rector making the catch right there and putting the Irish in an interesting spot at the 8-yard line of JP2 with 6.1 seconds to go in the first half, and the Irish down by 4.
Does that remind you of a guy by the name of Johnny Manziel at all? Seamus O'Connell showing his ability. It's almost like he was rolling to the left, and you think he's going to get sacked. All is lost for the Irish, but spins around, turns to his right, rolls out, sees Wyatt Rector just barely a step ahead of his defender, and throws a strike to Wyatt Rector, and he comes down with the catch. Coach Rector's nephew, so Coach Rector nice and proud there. But the Irish here, they're set up, just inside the 10-yard line at the 8-yard line. So, that run did waste a lot of time. You only got 6 seconds, so it'd be interesting to see what they do here.
It is dangerous for the Irish. They can't execute a play that takes very long to set up if they want to try and get 2 shots at the end zone here, barring a penalty, of course. The Irish are going to have a trio of receivers to the far side with Irwin, the lone receiver, on the near side. O'Connell with Bird next to him. He's rolling. 4 seconds. Better make that throw quick. And it's a completion. Evan Ruers, touchdown, Irish.
Nice job of rolling out there by Seamus O'Connell. Evan Ruers escapes, finds a way to squeeze between the linebackers, and he was wide open. Seamus O'Connell waited a couple seconds to throw it to him, but he was wide open there, and the Irish have a huge score before halftime, exactly what they needed.
Waiting to see what's going on here as Father Ryan comes over to the near sideline.
Oh.
They're going to wave off the touchdown. Offensive pass interference call.
You've got to be kidding me.
Nope, that's what they said. So 1.3 seconds to go here in the first half, and what looked like the go-ahead touchdown pass to Ruers will instead be waved off for an offensive pass interference call.
And Coach Rector is livid on the sideline. He's talking to both of the refs, and he's finally walked away from them and says, basically ignores them. But, if you're an Irish fan, that's very disappointing. But it is encouraging. They scored a touchdown, nonetheless, and this is an encouraging end to the first half. You still have 1.3 seconds, so I'm not sure how much you can do in that time. But this is still encouraging. This is not all Irish fans should not be disappointed after this.
Father Ryan out of timeouts, 1.3 seconds on the clock. Ball's at the JP2 23-yard line, so does not seem like a realistic opportunity for a field goal try here. The Father Ryan band is in the house tonight. They're going to be putting on a halftime performance for the live crowd. Of course, behind the Crest, we'll have your halftime report. But we still have 1.3 seconds to go. And the Irish, it's first down, but barring a penalty, again, this will be the last play of the first half. Out of the shotgun, 3 receivers to the near side. O'Connell's going to throw it deep toward the end zone. Irwin is there.
Whoa!
Caught. Touchdown, Irish. And this time there are no flags. Gray Irwin.
What a throw, what a catch from Gray Irwin. We saw it last weekend from Seamus O'Connell throwing an absolute dime to Gray Irwin. And, the refs are actually talking about something.
There's a discussion. Oh, there is a flag on the end in the Ryan and Father Ryan in that right side end zone. So they discuss whatever the infraction was. Is against JP2. You'll decline that penalty. And Father Ryan on the last play of the first half, and they got to go for the extra point, guys. You can't be running off too quick. I realize it's 0-0 on the board, but by rule, you go for the extra point here. Father Ryan takes the lead 22-20 after an offensive pass interference call wiped out one touchdown to Ruers on the far side. O'Connell says, we'll do it again. Going to the near side, Gray Irwin. And now we wait for the extra point.
What an insane end to this first half. 1.3 seconds left, and you chuck it up to Gray Irwin, and he comes up with the play. It was a nice wheel route from Irwin. He was set up inside, and you saw him. Rector was running a post route, it looked like, and Gray Irwin sort of escaped the defense and was open just a step, and he came up and basically just out-jumped the JP2 defender there.
Absolutely thrilling play. Like you mentioned, good throw by O'Connell. Irwin there making an excellent catch. Last year at halftime, the Knights led the Irish by 17. Father Ryan will take the lead to the halftime locker room. Lead by 2 now. An extra point would put them up by 3.
And it's sort of comical taking a look at both sidelines. Father Ryan's still jumping up and down. The student section's excited. Meanwhile, on the JP2 sideline, extremely distraught.
Wisnowski hits the extra point, and that gives Father Ryan a 3-point lead going into halftime. Your score at the half, Father Ryan 23, Pope John Paul II High School 20. Take a quick timeout here and be back with the halftime report on ATW Sportscast.
Let's hear it for your Father Ryan dancers. And now, please turn your attention to the field as we welcome the 2017 Father Ryan Marching Band. The band has established itself as one of the premier programs in the nation with their innovative and exciting performances. Last year, the band was named a national semifinalist at the Bands of America Grand National Championships. The Winter Guard finished 6th in the world, and the Winter Winds finished 3rd in the world at the WGI World Championships. They are fan favorites on the local, regional, and national level. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the Father Ryan Marching Band under the direction of Jeff, Derrick, and Dustin Schletzer, Jeremy Fry, and Chad Birchchusser. Let's hear it for your Father Ryan Band with recognition of Field Commander Will Drexler. This past Wednesday, Father Ryan's cross-country and track teams, led by coaches Robert Kent of the class of 1974 and Doug Jones, welcomed a record number of runners from the area parochial schools for the 9th annual Father Ryan Running Classic. The day was gorgeous and the runners were ready. 10 of them, from 4th grade to 8th grade, competed on a day that saw a new record set in 4 of 10 races. We are pleased to welcome the champions back to the track to congratulate them. 4th grade girls, Caroline Perry from Overbrook. 4th grade boys, Christopher Conricode from St. Henry. 5th grade girls, Caroline Maservi from St. Edward with a new meet record. 5th grade boys, Ryan Jones from Christ the King with a new meet record. 6th grade girls, Julia Henson from St. Henry. 6th grade boys, Peyton Shaw from St. Matthew. 7th grade girls, Grace Feltner from St. Henry with a...
Welcome back to the campus of Father Ryan High School. This is the halftime report for the Behind the Crest Network. Alongside Austin Wright, I'm Billy Derrick. Wow, what a first half there. Very entertaining. Father Ryan leads JP2 23-20 with just under 12 minutes left until this halftime is over. We've got plenty of time here, Austin. The band just got off the field, and we've got some time to talk about what transpired here in the first half. Before I say anything, Austin, because we've got some experience to remind you of.
Definitely.
What do you recall there? I mean, it seemed to be a very fast first half, but
yes,
it ended with a bang.
Absolutely. What an ending to the first half with a touchdown catch there by Gray Irwin. Of course, the first score that was possibly going to be the go-ahead touchdown there for the Irish was, of course, called off there. And so what a first half ending catch there for Gray Irwin. So the Irish have definitely been playing a good game, but the JP2 Knights have been having a good game against them when they've been on the receiving end. And the Irish secondary needs to make some adjustments, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I just got to look here on the monitor here of the replay, and what a catch again by Gray Irwin. I mean, he might have had one step on the defender, but it's not like he beat him all the way down the field. He was able to jump all the way up, basically jump over the defender, and make the catch, make an unbelievable grab. And that's what we've seen from Gray Irwin. He has come through in the clutch from time and time again. And that's what you need for this Irish offense.
Absolutely. He's been a staple all year round so far for the Irish, and and with that catch right there, he just proves his effectiveness and his ability to score.
Yeah, there's so many – I think there's a lot of weapons here on this Irish offense that maybe a lot of fans might not know are available, but they're starting to use them. This offensive coordinator for the Irish, Brett Teveau, is starting to use these weapons very effectively. You've got wide receivers like Gray Irwin, Wyatt Rector, Quinn Warren, Nick Miller, who is out tonight with an Achilles injury. But Nick Miller is a very good possession receiver. He's out tonight. He should be available in the coming weeks. And you also have guys like William Riley. So lots of depth at the receiver position. And then you take a look at the running back position. Jackson Bird has had plenty of carries tonight, as well as Houston Crouch. And Antonio Wright has even had some carries. So just overall in the first half, what do you think of this Irish offense, Austin?
I thought the Irish offense did a pretty good job with everything that they've been able to do against a pretty tough JP2 defense that has been very stout against them and the defensive line there. So I kudos to the Irish offense for doing such a good job and making sure that they can get up and stay up at the half.
Yeah, and once again, your score here at halftime, Father Ryan 23, Pope John Paul II 20. And let's talk about halftime adjustments now. Coach Rector at halftime is going to have to make some adjustments if they want to come through the victor in this game. Austin, taking a look at some of the plays maybe Father Ryan struggled with, what adjustments do you think Coach Rector could make here in the second half?
One of the things that will definitely need to be addressed is definitely the Irish secondary. There were some holes that were opened up there by the JP2 receiving core there, as evident from earlier in the first half. So that will be one of the key things to work on for the Irish, and definitely making sure that they can maintain this lead. And the way to do that is basically just chew up the clock and keep the ground game going and have a strong game there.
Certainly, and Lou and I have talked about this basically every broadcast, that I've been on him with. The fact that Coach Rector is very efficient at making halftime adjustments at whatever he needs to do. Last week against Stratford, he didn't necessarily have to make any halftime adjustments because it was a shutout victory for the Irish. But the week before that, he had to make a lot of adjustments against Brentwood Academy. Father Ryan obviously being down 14-0 at the half, they end up almost tying the game up. They made the game 14-13. So Coach Rector right there shows he knows how to make halftime adjustments. And he knows how to deal with this Irish team, obviously, because he's been with his guys for a while, and he knows their personalities. So, again, looking ahead to this second half, do you think this JP2 defense will maybe come with a few surprises for this Irish offense, or do you think they'll sort of stay conservative and play probably the more intelligent way?
Well, we shall see. I could expect them to be probably a mixture of both. I would think that they would have at least stay a little conservative, but they will probably be aggressive because I'm sure they want to keep the Bishop's Cup with them, but we as well want to take it back. So it is going to be quite the matchup to see in the second half. So hopefully the Irish can keep their flow going and make the right adjustments.
Hopefully they can. I mean, if the Irish can pull this win off, it's not going to be an upset because I think the majority of these people expect the Irish to win this game tonight. But the Irish are 9-3 against Pope John Paul II. And, looking ahead to this second half, as we've talked about, you just mentioned, we don't know what both of these teams are going to come out and do. Father Ryan could, Father Ryan will be kicking off. Father Ryan will be receiving, actually. JP2 fumble on that first possession there. He kind of confused me right there. But, again, Father Ryan and Pope John Paul II, Father Ryan leads 23-20. And right here, before we end this halftime report, I'm going to update you on some scores around high school football, mainly here in the Mid-State, discussing Division II AAA, Division II 3A. Right now, MUS leads MBA 21-14 at the half. And that is at MUS.
That is next week's matchup.
That is next week's matchup. So Montgomery Bell Academy is down a touchdown right now to MUS. That could be a very good finish. So we're gonna be keeping an eye on that one. You and Lou will. So to sort of keep tabs on the Montgomery Bell Academy Big Red. So once again, MUS 21, MBA 14 at the half. Ensworth is hosting Baylor. The Baylor Red Raiders come to town to play against the Ensworth Tigers. Right now, Ensworth is up by 2 touchdowns. They're up big on Baylor, 28-14 at the half. And Father Ryan obviously has yet to play Ensworth, so another team to keep an eye on. Ravenwood is at Page. This is Father Ryan's homecoming game. Ravenwood leads Page 23-14. This is the week after the Montgomery Bell Academy game, so Ravenwood has looked very good this year. Stewart's Creek right now is playing at Brentwood. Brentwood is shutting out a 3-0 Stewart's Creek team, and this is a very efficient showing from this Brentwood team. Once again, Brentwood 35, Stewart's Creek 0 at the half. That game is at Brentwood. And Father Ryan plays this very good, undefeated Brentwood team who, I've heard a lot of good things about. My uncle has his son is an assistant coach there at Brentwood, so lots of connections there. That should be Ravenwood and Brentwood both should be great matchups to watch here on the schedule. So
absolutely.
Just take a look at those scores, initial thoughts on those.
With the NBA score, that's an interesting to see that they are down. They've been playing a pretty good year as well. It's surprising to see that MUS has come out on top, and with their 2-1 record on the year, and NBA is being 3-0. And as well, I'm surprised that Ensworth is able to keep a 2-touchdown lead on a pretty good Baylor team this year, 28-14. So those are my biggest games that I'm.
Yeah, those are some. That's a good game of lists there, and we've got 4 minutes left until this halftime starts. So we will take a break here on the Behind the Crest Network. Coming up next, Lou Pickney and Austin Wright will have all the coverage you need the entire second half. Coming up next here on the Behind the Crest Network.
Approaching the end of halftime here at Giacosa Stadium. Hey everybody, Lou Pickney and Austin Wright on a call on this second half between two Catholic high school rivals, Father Ryan and Pope John Paul II. The Irish leading 23-20 after a touchdown at the very last play of the end of the first half, a completion to Gray Irwin for a touchdown.
Absolutely. A big first half there for the Irish. What a great score there by Gray Irwin to get the Irish up 23-0. And it could have been 23-0 or to 20 as well. It had the penalty not occurred for Father Ryan. Evan Brewers was in there for the late score that could have been. But what a great catch there by Gray Irwin with just 1 second remaining before the end of the half.
It would have been easy for Father Ryan to get down after the touchdown to Brewers was called back for a penalty, but the Irish, after going to Brewers on that far side, struck with a good pass and a very good catch by Irwin in that near side corner on the right. Extra point made it 23-0 Father Ryan. You think about the safety that the Irish got relatively late in the first half, and the interception, which rather uncharacteristic for Seamus O'Connell, has been very accurate, especially last week, only had 2 incompletions. But because the ball ended up at the 1 yard line, it was the Irish could have punted and not hoped for that to happen 1 out of 100 times. Defense was able to force in the offensive line for the Knights at JP2 and get the safety off a QB sneak, which you almost never see.
Absolutely. That's right. It's been a great first half for the Irish and for the Knights. It's been quite the game for both sides, and definitely going to see what Coach Rector is going to come out here with, what adjustments he wants to make for his team. We know that he is one apt person to do that, and hopefully the Irish can stay out on top.
Father Ryan last year lost 20-17 to JP2, a game the Knights led by 17 at the half. Father Ryan, under Coach Rector, has made some excellent halftime adjustments. Give the coordinators a lot of credit for that. They showed that against Brentwood Academy, down 14-0, rallying to pull within one of them 2 weeks ago. So the Irish at 2-1, and the Knights at 2-1. The battle for the Bishop's Cup. JP2 has it. The Irish would like to reclaim it. Father Ryan 9-3 all time in this relatively new series. And the second half is underway. Moderate length kick will be fielded by Anthony Wright at the 18, bringing it back towards the near side to the 25. Looks for a hole, doesn't find one. Finally brought down at the 28 of Father Ryan.
Tough play there by Antonio Wright. He's been having a good year as well, been getting some good experience out there, being a young sophomore for the Irish.
That was actually Anthony Wright. Anthony Wright who made that return. He doesn't get to touch the ball as much, playing safety. His brother playing running back primarily. But on that one, able to have a nice return. So for Father Ryan, starting at their own 28, 1st and 10, just underway here, second half. And the Irish leading 23-20 over the Knights.
That's right, and the Irish have been having some pretty good field position with the good returns here, as shown evident from last half as well.
Here's Jackson Bird. He'll be forced out of bounds after a 7 or so yard gain on the near sideline. Father Ryan coming out of the gate, using its rushing attack. And as usual, when you run the ball consistently, you tend to have the advantage go your way in the second half as the defense becomes more tired. So on 2nd and a long one, again, Jackson Bird, he has the first down. 2 hands to protect the ball, finally brought down just past the Father Ryan 45-yard line.
Strong run by Jackson Bird. He's been having a great night as well. Definitely been producing very well there for the Irish. He's been having a great night for sure.
Also playing inside linebacker, punter, and basically whatever the Irish need. 4 wide receivers, and it's going to be O'Connell keeping himself running toward the far side. Has one defender near him, gets by. A second one will twist him around, force him perhaps out of bounds or down near the out-of-bound marker at the 48-yard line. 8-yard gain, Seamus O'Connell on the QB keeper.
Athletic play there by Seamus O'Connell. That's just a testament just to his athleticism and the ability to get around defenders almost no matter who it is, and just one of the great keys of his QB ability out there for the Irish.
4 receivers again for the Irish on this 2nd and 3. Approaching the 11-minute mark of the third quarter. Father Ryan leading JP2 23-20. 6 seconds on the play clock. Fakes the handoff to Crouch. O'Connell will keep it himself again. He has the first down to the 40, still going to the 35. Finally, shouldered out of bounds near the JP2 30-yard line. Seamus O'Connell, another first down on a carry.
Again, Seamus O'Connell being one of the big keys here for the Irish, maintaining the ball, being able to push it downfield and have their way against JP2.
Father Ryan has been able to handle the linebacker pressure by and large that JP2 has had success with in the past. So here's Houston Crouch on 1st and 10. He'll get twisted around after a 5-yard gain. And Bird back into the game as the Irish continue to cycle in running backs, keeping the fresh bodies out there.
That's right, and as Billy and I discussed earlier today, that one of the keys for the game for the Irish was to keep the ground game going and make sure that they can keep that pressure against a good JP2 D-line. So they've been doing it very well here, and with the adjustments Coach Rector has made at the half.
3-point lead for the Irish. O'Connell's going to keep it himself after faking to Bird, trying to nose his way through. He's near the first down marker, not quite, maybe about 1.5 yards shy, and that's going to set up 3rd and short for Father Ryan.
And with that, Father Ryan will be making some swaps here, some substitutions coming in as well.
Felix Wilson into the game as they bring in a fresh lineman.
And as well, leaks up.
Oh, and they got caught on that one. Wyatt Rector, they had 12 men in the huddle. They got away with it a couple of weeks ago at Brentwood Academy, but
Dead ball penalty on the play.
so instead, it's a substitution infraction. So instead of 3rd and 2, it will be 3rd and 7 for Father Ryan as they move back to the JP2 27-yard line. 9:45 to go, 3rd quarter. Father Ryan leads by 3.
And again, another untimely mistake there for the Irish. They've been having a few of those penalties go on throughout this game. So hopefully Coach Rector can help the Irish out, and hopefully they can get a little bit better communication going on here on who needs to be where.
Those types of mental mistakes in a close game can be very difficult to overcome. So the Irish now looking at a 3rd and 7. It's a 3-receiver look, 2 to the near side. It's going to be a handoff. Jackson Bird bursting forward, and he has the first down past the 20-yard line.
Great run there by Jackson Bird to get it into the red zone here for the Irish.
It shows you what this Father Ryan team thinks about his rushing attack. We're on 3rd and 7. They'll run the ball. Bird picks up 8. And it's a fresh set of downs for the Irish now in the red zone. O'Connell fakes it. The turf monster got him. It was a good fake to Bird going toward the far side. He cut it back to the near side, did O'Connell, but he slipped. And we'll have a minimal gain, if any.
And again, as Billy and I mentioned during halftime, one of the keys that the Irish also need to work on is keeping the ground game going. And they have been working well right here against JP2, so just a testament to their ground game and the ability to push it against a tough JP2.
We'll say a 1-yard loss for O'Connell, so 2nd and 11, ball at the 20-yard line. O'Connell keeps it himself after the fake handoff, throws it against his body, incomplete. Evan Ruers, the intended receiver, although he'd already hit the deck by the time the ball got there.
Absolutely, it was a good idea. It was a tough play to make there for both sides, but ended up incomplete.
So a couple of slips for the Irish. It's been very dry compared to, say, a week ago when the remnants of Hurricane Harvey wreaked havoc on the Friday night football schedule. It'll be 3rd and 11 for the Irish. They're going to go 3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far. Running back up in a blocking position. O'Connell throwing against his body, has Wyatt Rector in the end zone, and it's batted away. Good defensive play. Pope John Paul II, Nolan Underhill plays running back, also defensive back, able to knock that one away, and it's 4th and 11 for the Irish.
Nice secondary doing some making the Irish pay there for going down there for the deep ball. It was a good try by both sides.
I like the idea. The throw was on the money. That's if you're going to have an incompletion, make it a play where your opponent has to do something special to knock it away. Father Ryan showing no inclination to go for a field goal. They lead by 3. That's maybe outside of Wesnowski's range. 4th and 11. They need to reach just past the 10-yard line. And with a full receiver look, O'Connell looking, biding his time. High pass will go over the head of Evan Ruers. It's going to be a turnover on downs, and the Knights will have the ball at their own 20 or perhaps 21-yard line.
Tough play there to make for Evan Ruers on the sideline. Would have been a tough down to get back for the Irish. And again, that play was made due to Wesnowski being a freshman and also being not being the most assured for his length so far. So he still has time to improve.
Past Saturday, Ruers 113 yards, had a 4th down reception and a touchdown. So JP2 on 1st and 10. Try running it up the middle. And there's just nothing there for them. Good job, Father Ryan's defense plugging that one up.
Absolutely. Father Ryan's defense has been playing a good game as well with their D-line getting good pressure against the JP2 O-line.
Nolan Underhill on the carry just after making that defensive play in the end zone. Right back in there for the Knights. This time on offense, we'll say a 2-yard gain, 2nd and 8. 8 minutes to go, third quarter. Father Ryan leads JP2 by the score of 23-20. The Knights looking at 2nd and 8 at their own 22.
And hopefully for Father Ryan, hopefully their secondary can match up even better against the Knight offense here and their good receivers.
They tease a jet sweep. It's incomplete. And this is something that's more akin to what I saw on tape from this JP2 team, going for teasing a jet sweep and perhaps a run. Instead, the ball was thrown.
Absolutely, JP2 does love to use the fakes, especially. But Father Ryan did sniff it out there and was able to get good pressure on the receivers.
Yeah, Rory White, the intended receiver, you normally bring that one in. So for Father Ryan, good fortune that one fell incomplete. 3rd and 8, 7:43 to go, third quarter. Father Ryan leads by 3. JP2 with the ball at their own 22-yard line. Out of the shotgun, Nixon steps up, throws, complete to the 30, to the 35, out of bounds, and enough to move the chains for the Knights.
Again, open hole there for the Irish defense there, and JP2 was able to exploit it and get a good first down.
Nixon not giving up on his receivers despite a couple of drops here and there. Keaton had a drop earlier, but he's had a couple of receptions for this JP2 team. Knights trailing the Irish 23-20, 7:36 to go, third quarter. The Bishop's Cup is on the line. Both teams trying for their first ever win as Division II AAA opponents. It's basically the same as Division II AA last year. They just added an extra division because that was the decision that was made. So an official timeout momentarily. Ball spotted at the JP2 36-yard line. This may be we'll see. A point of emphasis this year clearly has been sideline warnings. I don't know if that's what this is here. Body language isn't telling me much as far as what they're discussing. No flags on the field at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Clearly, officials having a word with Coach Rector, and definitely a serious conversation being had down there. Interesting to see what the call will be.
Sometimes I can figure things out from body language and positioning, but on that one, your guess is as good as mine.
Absolutely. It's very ambiguous from up here.
Whatever the official needed to communicate to Father Ryan's coaching staff, apparently he did. So now, 1st and 10 for the Knights. They trail Father Ryan 23-20, 7 minutes, 36 seconds as they wind the clock here in the third quarter. Out of the shotgun, it's Nixon. Nixon will keep it himself, going towards the far side. A good ankle tackle there. Father Ryan coming up with a play. Austin Crow, outstanding defensive lineman for this Irish team. Will be a 2-yard gain by the time Nixon was finally brought to the turf, and JP2 quickly back to it now. They got that weird-looking set, 5 receivers, 3 bunched up to the near side, and instead now they're going to have Brooks Haggerty in there. Haggerty, who's run the Tim Tebow-style play where he just runs it up the middle. He'll gain maybe 2 yards. JP2 had some success with that in the first half, out of the Wildcat formation, if you will.
That's correct. With JP2's unique formations, they have been having some success with the Wildcat and with the unique formations, as you said earlier.
And it's strange to see it in this game after not having seen it in the first 3. And again, maybe they did it in the first half against White's Creek, but that was one I was not able to hunt down. And I can usually find things, but not in that case. But that's what Father Ryan's facing tonight. So Nixon back in at quarterback on 3rd and 6, 6:22 to go, third quarter. Father Ryan leads 23-20. Nixon throwing high, caught about a yard shy of the first down from where I saw it. It depends if they're going to spot it at the 45 or the 46. They needed to reach the 46-yard line. And they're going to mark the ball at the 46. So they'll say forward progress to the 46-yard line. I can hear some grumbling from Father Ryan fans, but that was the call. And so a new set of downs for JP2.
Interesting ruling there, and hopefully the Irish can stay on top of the JP2 receivers here and maintain pressure on them.
It's a 3-receiver look on 1st and 10 from their own 46-yard line, down by 3. It'll be a handoff to A nice spin move, staying on his feet. That's going to be another first down on the carry there.
And as we've gotten the look, it seems as though the ruling might have been a little misconstrued.
They're going to say he was down at the 45-yard line. Theo Naganor on that carry. I had his name phonetically spelled and had to find the page I had it on. So Naganor, who typically doesn't come into the game until the second quarter, it's the first time for me calling his name tonight. 2nd and 1. 5:20 to go, third quarter. It's a play fake. Nixon in the pocket. Breaks one tackle, moving toward the far side, and they'll throw it incomplete, basically throwing that one away. Had a couple of receivers in the vicinity. But the pressure from Father Ryan got the stop.
And JP2's quarterback, also an athletic quarterback as well back there, being able to slip away from the tough Irish defenders.
There are times where I'm sure JP2 would like to see him slide, but he is fearless. From what I've seen on video and even here a bit tonight, he's not one that's going to run out of bounds to avoid a hit. Physical player. Tighter formation for JP2 on this 3rd and short. Approaching the 5-minute mark of the third quarter. They trail Father Ryan by 3. It's a handoff, and he did not get there. If anything, he lost a yard or two. That Father Ryan defense forcing the offensive line for the Knights back.
Jackson Bird, one of the players to get a great stop there for the Irish.
Indeed, Bird credited with the tackle on Naganor. Naganor's a dangerous player. You know, Father Ryan's been mixing in running backs quite a bit in this game now. JP2 getting on that. So it looks like the Knights are lining up to go for it. 4th and 2, ball at the Father Ryan 46. The Irish lead 23-20. Less than 5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. And what has been a really fun back-and-forth game here at Giacosa Stadium.
Absolutely, with this jumbo package, it'd be interesting to see how the Irish are able to respond.
Nixon sets up for a potential pitch. He's going to dive forward. He didn't get there. We'll wait and see it on the spot. It appeared they brought him down at the 45-yard line, 1 yard shy of what he needed to reach. And indeed, a turnover on downs. Father Ryan, defense comes up big, gets the stop, and now the Irish once again have possession of the ball.
Great pressure there by the Irish D-line, able to get in there and stop the play and make the turnover on downs. Great move there by the Irish.
Father Ryan, players on the near sideline conversing. Play clock's running, 20 seconds and counting. So they're going to have to hustle to get out there. Now the officials, they may reset the play clock. Going for an official's timeout. And again, with that play clock running down, one can only presume that it was something related to that, although they're still talking things over. 4 minutes, 48 seconds to go third quarter. Father Ryan leads 23-20 over Pope John Paul II High School. JP2 came in here and beat the Irish 1 year ago. Father Ryan wanting revenge and wanting to reclaim possession of the coveted Bishop's Cup.
Absolutely, definitely a revenge game here for the Irish. Now with them being on the excuse me. Now with the Irish being on offense, interesting to see what they will be able to do and hopefully get further up against JP2.
Handoff Houston Crouch, 4 yards or so before he's finally brought down by a host of Knights defenders. Father Ryan continuing to move the ball with success. They'll say 5-yard carry is the ball, the nose of the ball right at the 50-yard line. 4.5 minutes and counting third quarter. Father Ryan leads 23-20 over JP2. It's a 3-receiver look. And again, Houston Crouch pushing forward. And he'll get maybe 1.5, 2 yards depending on the spot.
You know, a strong running game here for the Irish. They've been using a lot here in the second half, effectively chewing out the clock with it being 4 minutes left in the third quarter.
It looked like Andrew Albert on the stop for JP2. He's a senior, 6'2", 260 pounds. So keep that in mind when Father Ryan is able to push back with some strength from their own offensive line. So on 3rd and 3, it's another handoff.
Carried by Houston Crouch.
And it appears not
Jackson
to be enough.
Bird on the carry, and he got back to the line of scrimmage and nothing more. Father Ryan now looking at a 4th down. 4th and 3 for the Irish. Approaching 3 minutes, 30 seconds to go third quarter. Father Ryan leads JP2 by the score of 23-20. And now Father Ryan making wholesale substitutions, setting up for what you might think will be a punt.
It seems as though, and with all these runs, it is showing that Father Ryan is able to run out the clock and be able to maintain their own speed and maintain their own pressure against JP2.
Jackson Bird with a spinning punt. Prott says for his teammates to get away from it. Irish will finally down it. The ball started to take a bounce for JP2, and they'll stop it at the 21-yard line. Good punt by Jackson Bird. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Knights at their own 21.
And although the Irish are just running the ball, there is no need to score. Although they are up by only 3 points, there is no necessity that you have to score, but you would like to have one more touchdown to keep that insurance going.
So a 3-point lead for Father Ryan. Less than 3 minutes to go, third quarter. Score update out of Chattanooga. McCauley all over Webb now, 49-22 in the fourth. That game started before the rest of them. They normally do with that 30-minute earlier start. 1st and 10, Nixon throwing deep. Great job, Marcel Fogg knocking the ball away. Incomplete pass intended for Rory White, and White a little slow to get up.
Marcel Fogg with a great play there against the JP2 receiver.
He was step for step with him. Had a hand in there. Clean play, I might add. Trainers over there having checking things up with White. Hopefully just had the wind knocked out of him. So we'll take a quick break. 2:51 to go here in the third quarter. Your score, Father Ryan leading JP2 23-20. We'll be right back here on ATW Sportscast.
$5 gift card to the Spirit Store. The alumni winner from the class of 1983. This man will be able to use this $25 gift card. Tommy Hagee. You have won a $25 gift card to the Father Ryan Spirit Store. Head down that way right now before your kids do so you can pick it up.
.251 to go in the third quarter here on the campus of Father Ryan High School, Giacosa Stadium, in the first official home game of 2017 for Father Ryan. 6 days ago, the Irish played host to Stratford in what was technically a home game for Stratford, delayed by 1 day and moved from Stratford's campus due to the heavy rain and flooding that pestered much of Nashville. Metro schools 1 week ago had to be closed due to rain and flooding. Of course, certainly a better situation with folks down in Texas and Houston have faced. My aunt and uncle lived down there. Their home was okay, but a rental house of theirs was damaged. But these stories are, you add them up by the hundreds, if not the thousands of people that have been affected. And then to think Hurricane Irma coming up towards, I spent 5 years in Tampa. I've got a bunch of friends in Florida. And I mean, I cover tropical storms and hurricanes. I know how serious they are. And hoping for the best, but when you've got a Cat 5 bearing down on you, not much to hope for on that. So something good here for JP2. It's Rory White able to be held back up and going gingerly toward the sideline. You know, the Knights really need to have him back. He's one of their best receivers. Hope he's okay.
Absolutely. The tough play to see there for the JP2 Knights to see a player down for so long, and hopefully he's all right.
Gray Irwin in at safety for Father Ryan, playing both ways. On 2nd and 10, slant pass complete. Close to the first down marker. And they said they will say he did, in fact, reach the first down marker. Looked about a half yard shy from my angle, but I'm looking at it not quite straight on like the refs are. So they'll spot it at the 31-yard line, 1st and 10. Pope John Paul II High School. They trail Father Ryan 23-20. 2 minutes and 39 seconds to go, third quarter, in this battle for the Bishop's Cup.
And it does seem as though those slant passes for JP2 have been pretty effective tonight against the Irish defense.
They do like the slant, especially out of the triple receiver look. It says to me a keeper. As Nixon tries to keep it, but that Father Ryan defensive linebackers coming in there. And they'll say Crow with the tackle. Father Ryan not biting on any fakes on that one. The Irish at 2-1, the Knights at 2-1. Both teams 0-1 in Division II AAA play, both having lost to Brentwood Academy.
Now for Father Ryan here, as they continue, they are definitely going to need to maintain that D-line pressure against the JP2 O-line, keep the quarterback on his toes.
On 2nd and 10, it was a play fake and a completion. Brendan Keaton calling his name yet again. That's not enough to get a first down, but they'll have the ball at their own 41-yard line. Say 3rd and 2 for the Knights. We approach the minute 30 mark of the third quarter. Father Ryan leading by 3 in what's been a really good one here in South Nashville.
Absolutely. It's been a great game so far. We've had a great first half, and the third quarter has been a pretty even matchup on both sides. Neither side able to get too far and get too much and get any scores here.
Halftime adjustments certainly help for both teams. 3rd and 2, that pass is batted down. Nice play there, Father Ryan's defense. Was that Jack Boutte?
Believe so.
Indeed. Jack Boutte knocked it down. And this has the Knights lining up as if they're going to punt it. They're down by 3, a minute 9 to go third quarter. Both teams are willing to play the field position game, as it were. For Father Ryan, be Quinn Warren, the 5'7" senior, back to field this punt from Zanger.
And add that bat down to Jack Boutte's already impressive record.
Warren fields it off the one bounce, a dangerous play. We tackled a yard later at the 30-yard line. Could have been trouble, but he timed it properly, brought it in. And they'll ultimately mark the ball. Well, wait and see what they actually mark it before I tell you. Exactly 1 minute to go here in the third quarter. Father Ryan leads 23-20. This rivalry relatively new with Pope John Paul II High School in Hendersonville opening up after my time here at Father Ryan. I think Father Ryan used to be downtown Nashville and very centrally located, but I remember there were classmates of mine that lived up in Hendersonville on the north side. I know their commutes. I-65 south then was no picnic. Now, good luck. So it's good for Father Ryan being down here toward the south, and now people wanting a Catholic education for their kids have an option to the north. Is on 1st and 10. It's going to be Seamus O'Connell on the keeper. And look at maybe 2 yards on that one.
Absolutely. Definitely diverting both sides to no matter which side you want to go to for the Catholic schools.
In the fourth quarter, Memphis University School leads Montgomery Bell Academy 21-14. 1 week from tonight, NBA comes here to Father Ryan. The Irish have not beaten NBA since 1997, and the 1997 state champion team will be in the house 1 week from tonight.
Absolutely. Another revenge game here for the Irish. Back-to-back big games here on campus. On
2nd and 7, the run is snuffed out. Good job. They said Montrell McKnight. I believe that's actually Antonio Wright, number 10, on the carry there.
Yes.
Correction, carry by number 10, Antonio Wright.
And indeed, they will say it was Antonio Wright. Maybe a 2-yard loss, and that's the last play of the third quarter. The Irish will be looking at 3rd and 9 when we start the fourth. So after 3 here at Giacosa Stadium, your score, Father Ryan 23, Pope John Paul II High School 20. We'll be right back here on ATW Sportscast.
And as we make that announcement, we'd like to introduce some special guests who are with us tonight and for whom your generosity, both for the Miracle Minute and for Relay for Life itself, is especially meaningful. We are pleased to welcome tonight our cancer fighters and survivors, and we ask them to stand. Will our cancer fighters and survivors please stand? And will you courageous individuals remain standing so we can announce that tonight the Father Ryan and Pope John Paul II fans in Giacosa Stadium have raised $1,670.79, the highest Miracle Minute total ever. They will continue to work to add to this total over the next 3 weeks as we get ready for another memorable Relay for Life. And if past performance is any indicator, then expect a lot more to be raised by then. Thank you all for your support tonight and every night, and thank you, fighters and survivors, for inspiring us every day.
And so we start the fourth quarter here at Giacosa Stadium. Lou Pickney, Austin Wright with you on this call. Irish leading by 3. And on 3rd and 9, O'Connell throws deep, intended for Rector. Had a man step for step with him. Garrett Goodwin on the defense. Hits the turf and sets up what will likely be a punting situation for the Irish. Looking at 4th and 9 from their own 31-yard line.
Oh, the Irish hope to get it right there. That was a tough matchup, though, with the receiver for the Irish.
The idea was good. The throw was there. It's just good defense by JP2 to stop Rector from having a shot at it. So here is Jackson Bird with a punt. Fielded at the 33 to the 35 and no further. Father Ryan's special teams coming up there with a stop.
Absolutely. Now the Irish are going to make some more adjustments as they go here on defense. Back again. Now it will be interesting to see how much they will be able to maintain good pressure against JP2.
Seems that both teams have settled down a bit defensively, made those halftime adjustments.
Absolutely. Definitely evident by the chess match that's been going on here. It's been very even and very calculated by both sides.
11:42 to go in the fourth quarter. Father Ryan leads by 3, but it's JP2's ball, 1st and 10. It's a fake handoff. Nixon stares down his receiver and he's sacked. The pocket collapses. And it was Ben Smith, the outside linebacker, with an opportune sack. A 4-yard loss. 2nd and 14 now for the Knights.
Great sack there by the senior Ben Smith. Definitely a big play there for the Irish to put the JP2 Knights back further in their own zone.
Say it's at the Knights' 31-yard line. They need to get to their own 45-yard line to get a first down on 2nd and 14 as we approach the 11-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Irish lead by 3. It's a fake handoff. Nixon rolls to the near side, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. I'll set up 3rd down. Chase Petty, the H-back, he had a long catch against Lipscomb a couple of weeks ago that was called back on a penalty, so he is adept when called upon, but on that one, unable to haul it in, so 3rd and 14 now for the Knights.
Absolutely, that play action pass ineffective there for the Knights, being sniffed out by number 23, David Russell, for the Irish, getting good pressure on the quarterback.
Score update, Ensworth leads Baylor 28-14, midway through the fourth in that one. So 3rd and 14. Early in the fourth quarter, Father Ryan leads 23-20. The Knights trying to convert on 3rd and 14 with 4 receivers. Those towards the far side, and that throw was way off.
Absolutely, a miscommunication there by the quarterback to the receiver there for JP2, and a good defensive series here for the Irish to be able to stop JP2.
You think about it for the Irish, the nice punt by Jackson Bird. Good job by the special teams to allow only a minimal gain. Defense forcing back the Knights. So now, on 4th and 14, bit of a high snap. Irish brings some pressure. Almost gets there, but a good punt. Fielded by Warren at the 45. And he'll be taken out of bounds at the 48-yard line. Quinn Warren. They'll spot. It looks like they're going to spot at the 45. Perhaps he called fair catch. Yes, he did. That might explain why he went out of bounds so easily there. I thought that was rather curious, but he just had his momentum still carrying him forward after calling for the fair catch, which is the smart play in that case. So Father Ryan leads 23-20. 10 minutes, 48 seconds to go. JP2 has had the Bishop's Cup for the past year. Irish would sure like to get it back. It's going to be a 3-receiver look, 2 to the far side on 1st and 10. Handoff Houston Crouch. Wow. For a guy that's relatively short-statured, he gets that forward momentum going and pushes the pile. 6-yard carry for Crouch.
Absolutely. With that low center of gravity, he's able to barrel his way through against no matter what defender he's been facing, and he's been showing it here in tonight's game.
So it's 2nd down again to Crouch. A flag comes in. I don't know if Father Ryan was aligned properly. It didn't look like they had a receiver up at the line of scrimmage. The carry was not enough for a first down. Only got a couple of yards. And indeed, it is a penalty against Father Ryan. Wasn't sure why the receiver moved back off the line.
Again, another one of those mental mistakes there for the Irish. They've been having a few of those over this whole game.
Uncharacteristic for this normally very disciplined Father Ryan team.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be 2nd and 14. 10:20 to go fourth quarter. Father Ryan leads Pope John Paul II High School 23-20.
Now for Father Ryan, a big adjustment's going to be made here as they have a long 2nd down to make.
4 receivers, 3 bunched up to the near side. It's a play fake. Jackson Bird's going to throw it back incomplete. So they fake Jackson Bird on the run to the far side, tried to throw it back to O'Connell, but it falls incomplete.
Absolutely. The little trickery there by the Irish wasn't enough to make it. Just goes right through the hands of Seamus O'Connell. Now a long third down coming up.
And in fairness, it's not as if O'Connell had just a lot of real estate to work with there had he made the catch. But nevertheless, it does stop the clock with the incompletion. 10 minutes, 4 seconds to go. Fourth quarter. Father Ryan leads 23-20, but they're looking at 3rd and 14 at their own 41. Out of the gun, O'Connell fakes it once, throws deep. Man coverage for Warren, and it falls incomplete. Intended for Quinn Warren. Rory White. Step for step for him there. It's a good sign for JP2. Have White back in the game after he had to be helped off the field earlier.
That's right. Long pass, not enough there for the Irish. Now they will be punting and going back on defense. I'm sure the defense is tired after this. I mean, it's been a battle out there for both sides.
Certainly has. Defense had a 3-and-out in the last JP2 offensive possession. It's going to be a punt now from Jackson Bird. What a punt. It's going to bounce at the 15 and be fielded. I'm not sure why.
Oh.
You hear the groans from the Father Ryan fans. Will Lombardi, the senior, running in there. Certainly want to keep the ball from bouncing into the end zone. But perhaps Father Ryan could have pinned back the Knights a bit further. Whatever the case, a great punt, though, by Bird went past where the defender, or the return man, I should say, for JP2 was. And then Lombardi will down it at the 15.
Absolutely. Jackson Bird being one of these, basically just a Swiss Army knife for the Irish here. He plays, I mean, just about every position you can think of. He's on offense, he's on defense, and even shown there as a punter on special teams. Just a testament to his athleticism. 1st and 10,
JP2 with the ball. 9:50 to go, fourth quarter. They trail Father Ryan by 3 on 1st and 10. It's a play fake. Slant pass complete. Maybe a 9-yard gain on that one. And it was White on the reception, Rory White. And we'll say he got 9 yards on that one. 2nd and 1, JP2. Father Ryan leads by 3, 9:27 to go, fourth quarter.
And again, those short passes by JP2 have been pretty effective against the Irish defense here.
It is. And it's a reverse. They're going to try a trick play throwing downfield. Good job, Marcel Fogg, to knock it away. It was nearly picked off midair after that by David Ward. Father Ryan's defense able to handle that trick play because the Knights put Haggerty in there as they have at times in this game in the Wildcat. And I'm trying to get Keaton to throw it downfield, as I recall. Watching the replay here. A lot of moving parts, a lot to keep track of. 9:13 to go, fourth quarter.
Absolutely, definitely a tough catch to make there by David Ward with a lot of bobbling going on from an attempted interception.
They had split Nixon out, and so it was Keaton that handed it to Nixon, who threw deep. So 3rd and short now for the Knights. 9:13 to go, fourth quarter. It's going to be a handoff, a first down. Underhill will have it near the JP2 30-yard line.
JP2 able to get it through the Irish defense and get it a first down. And Irish got to be thinking about making big stops because it is getting later and later in the game, and they do have just a 3-point lead.
We approach the 9-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Father Ryan leads 23-20. They had a lot of scoring in the first half. Defensive adjustments by both teams have kind of clamped down on that here in the second half. The 3-receiver look on 1st and 10. Faked handoff. And appears the play was blown dead. You see a lot of that from JP2, as noted earlier. The misdirection, the fakes. So they will say that'll be an encroachment flag against the Irish. Makes it 1st and 5 now for JP2 with the ball now at their 34-yard line. Odd to see the play blown dead on encroachment, but of course if a JP2 player reacts to that, it's a dead ball and a 5-yard penalty. So 1st and 5, 8:32 and counting, fourth quarter. Irish lead by 3. Nixon out of the gun. Fakes the handoff. Is going to keep it himself and be spun down for maybe a half-yard gain at that. Good job by Father Ryan's defense to recognize it and make the play. It looked like Montrell McKnight.
Definitely. Father Ryan making a good stop there after making another mental mistake there with a penalty.
Montrell McKnight started game 1 of the season for the Irish against Overton. Missed the last 2 games, suited up tonight, had not been in there all that much, but makes the play there for a minimal gain. 1-yard gain, they'll say. Less than 8 minutes to go. 2nd and 4 for JP2, and it's a pass thrown over the middle, complete And they'll spot the forward progress for a first down. Rory White, once again, with a reception. Fogg on the stop for the Irish.
Rory White been a bit of a problem here for the Irish. I mean, he's been having a good game as well for JP2.
And to think, he's only a sophomore. Update on the Ensworth-Baylor game. Ensworth has extended its lead 35-14 on Baylor. Looks at a 1-3 start should they drop that one against the Tigers. First and 10, 7:33 to go. Irish lead by 3, but the Knights have the ball. Handoff. Get 2, maybe 3 yards. And nothing more.
And with that score you mentioned earlier, Ensworth have been coming out with some fire in the past two, and then these past 2 games, including this one, again after taking that unexpected loss against CPA in overtime.
The 1-point overtime loss. That the CPA team's good though. I mean, that's to their credit.
Mm-hmm.
They've beaten some quality teams thus far. So now 2nd and 8. We've reached the 7-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Father Ryan leads 23-20 over their rivals from the north. Out of the gun, they set up the screen pass. It's complete for maybe a 3 or 4 yard gain, but he paid the price. A hard hit. A couple of Father Ryan defenders in there. A good reception.
Now a key third down coming up here for the Irish.
Naganor with the reception. They'll credit Jack Boutte with a stop. So 3rd down. 6:30 and counting. Fourth quarter. Father Ryan leads 23-20 over JP2.
Absolutely, a big 3rd down coming up for the Irish to see if they can stop the JP2 Knights.
It's a 3 receiver look. 2 to the near side. It's going to be a play fake. Nixon under duress throws deep. Man coverage with Fogg right there. And it's caught. A fantastic catch on the far side by the Knights, converting on 3rd and 2. And guess who it was? Rory White once again.
What an impressive catch by Rory White against Marcel Fogg's good pressure, and Nixon taking quite the hit there as soon as he let it go. So
Nixon's
impressive
tough.
play. Absolutely.
I saw that happen a couple times to him on tape, doing prep for this game. It's the first time the Irish have really laid the lumber to him as he threw it, but it was complete. Now the Knights knocking on the door. 1st and 10 at the Irish 21. A handoff to Underhill, slicing through, gets maybe 3 yards on that carry.
Definitely. As you said earlier, Nixon definitely have some great composure back there, no matter what the Irish have been throwing out there, especially with that long pass that they've converted earlier. So Irish going to have to keep maintaining that pressure and hopefully keep JP2 away from the end zone.
They'll say 2nd and 6 for the Knights. 5 minutes, 30 seconds remain in regulation. Father Ryan leads 23-20, but JP2 with the ball in the Irish red zone. Again, a 3 receiver look, a fake, a quick throw to the near side, complete to the 15. Forced out of bounds just past the 10-yard line. And that will be enough for a first down. Keaton on the reception. Irwin forced him out of bounds.
Again, JP2 able to get it through the Irish zone there. Able to get a good, solid, short pass. Again, one of those things just getting through.
That's something JP2 likes to do, try and spread the field out a bit. 1st and goal at the Irish 9. Father Ryan leads 23-20. 5 minutes, 14 seconds to go, fourth quarter. That's going to be a handoff to Underhill. He just doesn't have the strength to get past that Father Ryan defensive front. Nice stop there, Jack Boutte, with Bird coming in late to finish the job.
Absolutely. Father Ryan snuffed that play out as soon as it started. They knew exactly where to go.
Substitution for Pope John Paul II. Chase Petty, the H-back, going to the sideline. Going to bring in Haggerty. Strips formation to the far side, and that's where the throw's going to go complete. At the 12, Father Ryan's right there on defense. And at best, the Knights got it back to the line of scrimmage.
That's right, screen pass not being too effective there for JP2. Father Ryan also able to sniff that out very well. Now, as Irish continue, they were going to need to have a couple big stops here. A big 3rd down coming up with JP2 being on the 11-yard line in the Father Ryan red zone.
10 seconds on the play clock. 4:10 and counting, fourth quarter. The Irish lead by 3. It's 3rd and goal from the 11 for JP2. Nixon from the shotgun. He's got some pressure coming in. He's going to throw toward that corner. In and out of the hands of the intended receiver.
What a fortunate drop there for the Irish. JP2 just not able to hold on to it. Now brings up fourth down.
And it was Rory White, the intended receiver. That kid's been all over the place tonight. He was banged up a little bit earlier, and now he's receiving some attention on the far side. Keep it here for now because we face a very interesting decision for JP2. 4th and goal from the 11. They trail by 3. So a field goal would tie it up.
Yes, that's right. It does bring up an interesting situation. Do you go for the touchdown or do you go for the field goal? Just depends on what JP2 might do, or will they fake it? It's just all a matter of what they decide to do.
You might recall last year, Father Ryan trailed late by 3 points. Anthony Hagee, the kicker for the Irish. Instead, the Irish, Coach Rector, rolling the dice, going for the win on the final play. They turned into a jet sweep of sorts with Jackson Bird throwing the ball. But it did not go the Irish way, and that was how the Knights captured the Bishop's Cup. All time in this series, Father Ryan does lead it. 9 wins to 3 for JP2.
Yes, it definitely was a tough way to go out last year, but Coach Rector trying to keep that pressure on and make sure that the Irish could stay alive no matter what and be able to get to that score. So hopefully they don't have to have that same situation tonight, for sure.
JP2 in their 3 wins all time against Father Ryan. They won the first ever meeting in 2005, and that was a decisive one, 49-21. Irish won the next several until JP2 with a 10-6 victory in 2012. And then, of course, last year, JP2's 20-17 victory here at Giacosa Stadium. So that's how they got their 3. The Irish winning the other 9. You think about it, since that first win by JP2, they've only had the cup in their possession 2 times. After the 2012 win, and of course, after last year's win, Irish would like to reclaim it. So with White receiving attention back up on his feet, it's going to be an apparent field goal try for JP2. 3:59 to go, fourth quarter. If they hit it, it'll tie us up at 23. Low snap. Kick is up. No good.
Wow.
Wide left.
Wow. What a fortunate situation for the Irish. JP2 kicker not enough. Doesn't have the accuracy. And Father Ryan still leads now, 23-20.
Zanger is a team captain. He's a senior. He's been reliable from what I've seen from him. But on that one,
very surprising.
Unable to split the uprights in a pressure situation. So that gives Father Ryan, they'll move the ball to the 20 as they do when there's a missed field goal in the red zone. So Irish first and 10 at their own 20. They lead 23-20. 3 minutes, 54 seconds to go, fourth quarter. So 2 receiver look on first and 10. I believe that's Jackson Bird for maybe a 2 or 3 yard gain. Indeed it was. So many bodies in there with everybody piled in. It was a little difficult to see. They'll say he reached the 24-yard line, so a better game than I had initially thought. 2nd and 6 Irish, and Father Ryan content to let that play clock run down a bit. 15 on the play clock. Less than 3:30 to go, fourth quarter. Father Ryan leads 23-20.
With that missed field goal, the Irish do have a great situation here, just being able to maintain their own style and make sure that they chew
with
down
3
the clock.
seconds on the play clock, it's a direct snap to O'Connell, the quarterback, keeping it, going towards the near side, or the far side, I should say, at midfield. And it will move the chains first down Irish, so in the middle of the field, I should say, not midfield. The ball is at the Father Ryan 31-yard line, but more importantly, that's a fresh set of downs, and they'll wind the clock when they're set.
That's right, a great athletic play there by Seamus O'Connell to be able to bob and weave his way through the defenders.
You have to pick your spots as a running quarterback. He certainly did right there. So less than 3 minutes to go. The Irish lead by 3. 5 seconds on the play clock. They're going to let it run down all the way to 3, and it's a handoff. Jackson Bird plowing forward. Took 2 defenders to bring him down at the 37-yard line. So a 6-yard gain there for Bird. 2:40 and counting.
Bird with a great run on the inside to be able to keep the clock running and make sure that the Irish have better field position here.
Jordan Phillips on the stop for the Knights of JP2. 15 seconds on the play clock. They approach 2:20 and counting. In this fourth quarter, Father Ryan leading 23-20. Again, a 2-receiver look with 1 on either side. On 4 seconds on the play clock, they're going to snap it, handoff. Jackson Bird plowing forward, trying to get there, not quite. About a yard shy as he stopped at the Father Ryan 40-yard line.
Jackson Bird with a good play there. Now it'll be a short 3, 3rd and 1 here for the Irish.
Looked
Expect
like
an inside run here.
number 13 for JP2 may have tweaked his knee a little bit. Dallas Darden calls for a sub to come in as he goes to the sideline. 1:46 and counting. Irish lead by 3. 3rd and 1 at their own 40-yard line. Both teams have their full complement of timeouts. So even if the Irish are able to convert and get a first down, it's not like they can just run out the clock. So the Irish let the clock run down as long as they can, and then finally use their first timeout. 1:32 to go, 4th quarter. Father Ryan leading 23-20. And I look at it like this, Austin. The way Father Ryan's been running the ball with success, you would figure you go back to the run here. Even if you don't get it, that keeps the clock moving, and you force JP2 to make a decision. But with such a short amount of distance,
Absolutely.
there's always that temptation to try and do something a bit unusual. And to be fair,
Definitely.
and in fairness, Coach Rector's not afraid to pull some surprises out.
Absolutely, and with Coach Rector, it is a possibility, but I should expect the Irish to bleed out the clock and just run the ball. No matter what happens, hopefully they will be able to run down the clock as much as possible and not leave JP2 too much time.
Well, and that's where the Knights would, in all likelihood, use the first time out of their 3 remaining. If the Irish are, either way they may do it, presuming it's a run. Now, Father Ryan throws the ball, it's an incompletion, then certainly that would not be necessary for the Knights. So we get the officials with the whistle blown. 1:32 to go, 4th quarter, and what has been a great game here at Giacosa Stadium. Father Ryan and JP2. Bunch formation. Connell in the gun. It's going to hand it off. Jackson Bird pushing forward. It'll depend on the spot. The far side official seems to think it's at the 39. He may be a half-yard shy. I'm not sure if they'll do a measurement. Maybe 1.5 feet at most. The clock continues to run, and now there's a whistle.
JP2 will take a timeout.
Going to see if it was JP2 or Father Ryan. Obviously, your Father Ryan let that clock keep running and force JP2. But let's say Father Ryan called the timeout. It's 4th and short, very short for the Irish. The ball is at the 40 or 40 and a half, really, and they need to get to the 41-yard line. You can punt here, but that might not be what the Irish feels in their best interest. It's such a short amount of space needed to gain that first down.
Definitely. And not too much real estate necessary, so I know in Coach Rector, we can expect to see probably another run here for the Irish to get the ball across the first down and hopefully keep the clock running.
1:13 to go, 4th quarter. Father Ryan leading 23-20. And you think about that late touchdown they had right at the end of the first half, the Irish. That gave them the lead going to half. That 23-20 lead at the half. And second half, goose eggs for both teams as far as scoring goes. Here comes Father Ryan, and they do not look like they're lining up to punt the ball. They're going to go for it, or at least line up as if they are. Their own 40.5-yard line. It's 3 receivers, 2 to the far side. O'Connell will be in the shotgun. Jackson Bird to his left. A hard count. He'll step back a bit further. This could be a pooch punt. And indeed, the QB punt. Nobody back for JP2 to field it. Bounces at the 28. Takes an Irish bounce to the 15. Keeps rolling as the clock keeps on ticking. And they'll finally down the ball at the 9-yard line. So Father Ryan is going to trust its defense. 4th and very short. I wonder when O'Connell, the way on that formation, he stepped back and okay, this might be it. And sure enough, he hit what turned out to be a picture-perfect punt for the Irish. And now the Knights at their own 9-yard line, 2 timeouts and 1:02 to go, trailing by 3, have a long way to get into field goal range.
And another testament to Seamus O'Connell's ability to be everywhere on the field as well. He's able to be utilized in many different positions, being able to even punt there.
4 receivers. Nixon on 1st and 10, complete. White makes the reception for the first down at the 21-yard line of the Knights, getting out of bounds. Stops the clock. 57.7 seconds to go, fourth quarter.
High pressure situation here for the Irish defense is going to be one of the biggest tests they've got this whole game to slow down JP2 and not allow them to keep going. That has been close so far.
NBA and MUS tied up at 21. This one a three-point game. Father Ryan leads by 3. Throw by Nixon toward the far sideline. Complete again to White. He has the first down and got out of bounds. Marcel Fogg right there with him. So on back-to-back plays, Pope John Paul II High School going with that sideline medium-range route to White, twice connecting. Father Ryan will use a timeout. That's its second. 52.1 seconds to go, fourth quarter. Father Ryan leads 23-20 over Pope John Paul II High School. Both teams hoping to move to 3-1 on the year. Of course, only one of them will be able to do that with a victory tonight.
Absolutely. Irish got to make some defensive adjustments here, make sure that they can have their secondary ready for any JP2 air attack that they will have going on here.
2 timeouts for the Knights. You would think they'd want to hold on to at least one of those if they can get into field goal range to allow themselves to set up for what could send this game to overtime. But they have the reality of less than a minute to go and the ball at their own 32-yard line. The Irish talk things over after back-to-back completions and give JP2 back-to-back first downs. Fans on both sides making noise. On the final minute of this regulation, Nixon looks deep. Man coverage, incomplete. Hopkins step for step with the receiver, Prott. And that's 2nd and 10 now for the Knights.
Hunter Hopkins there with great pressure on the JP2 receiver, number 8, Nicholas Preck.
So 2nd and 10 for JP2. 46.3 seconds to go in this one. Trips receivers to the near side, one to the far on this 2nd and 10. Nixon, Father Ryan only brings 3. He's going to throw deep. Dangerous throw. Fogg's right there. And it falls incomplete. White seemed to be able to reach in there and play defense, knocking that one away as it could have been intercepted by Fogg, which would have all but ended it. Instead, it's an incompletion, but more time off the clock. 38.4 seconds to go. 3rd and 10 for JP2 at their own 32-yard line. Irish lead by 3.
Big third down here for the Irish defense. Now's the time for them to make the pressure against JP2. It'll be interesting to see what they come out with.
It's a 3-receiver look. Fans on both sides on their feet cheering. They send the running back out on a wheel route. It's going to be Nixon keeping it himself, trying to get to the sideline. He does. Not enough for a first down. He'll go out, they'll say, at the 36-yard line. So a 4-yard gain sets up 4th and 6 for the Knights. 31.2 seconds to go. Fourth quarter, Father Ryan leads 23-20.
Now a big play coming up here for the Irish. Big 4th down. Need to make a stop and effectively end the game here. Big play coming up here. Fans on both sides going crazy, rooting for their team.
JP2 either needs a penalty or to get the ball beyond their own 42-yard line. And it's a false start. So an inopportune time for a mistake. Wait to be sure it is, in fact, a false start against JP2. It is. So instead of 4th and 6, now it's 4th and 11 for JP2. A little more than 30 seconds to go in this game. Father Ryan leading 23-20.
Big mistake there by JP2 and a big break there for Father Ryan here. Now it being 4th and about 11.
Interesting for Father Ryan. Forced Dingler into the game. Niles Gaddy comes to the sidelines. Father Ryan brings in fresh body on this 4th and 11. Nixon in the shotgun. Throwing deep, man coverage to White, and is knocked away by Marcel Fogg, incomplete. And there are no flags.
Wow, what great coverage there by Marcel Fogg to make sure that the receiver didn't get that ball anywhere near him. Great job by him to bat it away.
There's some conversation over on the side. And there, in fact, is a flag. So I spoke too soon. Again. If that flag against JP2 would be declined, and Father Ryan can just take a knee 3 times and hoist the trophy. But it's against the Irish. They call pass interference on 4th and 11 on a play. That will give new life to the Knights. 23.4 seconds to go. Father Ryan leads 23-20.
That call not in favor for Father Ryan fans here. Not happy about it.
Keep in mind, it's not a spot up penalty where they mark the ball. They're going to give it to JP2 at their own 46. 1st and 10, 23.4 seconds to go. Father Ryan bringing pressure. They set up a screen. It's complete. Slips one tackle to the 45. They'll have a first down. Finally brought down at the Irish 44, maybe 43-yard line, depending on the spot. 14.7 seconds to go. And this is where time really becomes a factor. JP2 with 2 timeouts.
Definitely a lot of distance to cover in 14 seconds.
And this is why, if you're JP2, you want to have that at least 1 timeout in your back pocket, because you can throw it over the middle, set yourself up, and then go for what could be a game-tying field goal. For the Irish, where it looked like they had the victory in hand, the incompletion on 4th down, but pass interference called.
Definitely going to be a big test here for the Irish secondary to make sure that they can cover up JP2, no matter what they throw at them.
So they'll spot the ball between the 43 and the 44. Irish need to get back out there. And here they come. For a second there, it looked like JP2 may pull a fast one on him, but Irish will be allowed to set up on defense. So here we go, 14.7 seconds to go, 1st and 10. Crowd is loud. Nixon rolling to his right, buying time. Throws against his body, has a receiver open. It's caught at the 10-5. Touchdown, JP2. 4 seconds left in the game.
What a hole opened up by JP2, exploiting the Irish secondary, getting through a massive hole left over there.
Nicholas Pratt with the reception and the touchdown for the Knights. A flag comes in after the play. As you may have heard the PA announcer bleed over. So an absolute heartbreaker here for the Irish after leading for the entire second half. What looked like on 4th down. Oh, a sideline warning. Now we get one of those. So Pope John Paul II High School. And their fans are going crazy. Last year they stormed the field here. It appears the Knights will retain the Bishop's Cup.
Absolutely. It's just a heartbreaking loss right here for the Irish. It's been a tough game.
The extra point is good. Nicholas Zanger. That puts JP2 up by the score of 27-23. 4 seconds to go. And just a heartbreaker for the Irish. There's no way to spin this.
Absolutely. And you just got to wonder, how was there able to be that much room for the receiver? It's just one of those, it's just a massive hole there in the secondary.
Well, what happened was Nixon bought time rolling towards the near side. And that's I saw a lot of that on video from him in past games. And I had not shown much of that tonight. He'd been very disciplined. So naturally on that play is where he rolls to the near side, finally finds the receiver that gets through containment. And to his credit, Pratt brought it in, got to the end zone.
Absolutely. Just a testament to his ability as being a good quarterback for JP2.
So Father Ryan, unless they can do something truly unexpected here, will fall to 2-2 on the year, with Montgomery Bell Academy coming to visit 1 week from tonight. NBA, by the way, in overtime right now against MUS. That game in Memphis. If by chance it goes final before we do, we'll pass that information along to you. May see a squib kick here. Maybe not. I mean, it remains to be seen. Zanger's got the strong leg, but the Irish are playing up. Seem to suggest they think it's most likely going to be a squib. Ball takes a bounce. And Warren I guess he was going to try and throw it backward, but his knee hit as he got the ball. The clock started. So 2.8 seconds, as they will say, Quinn Warren. Yeah, his knee was down as he possessed the ball at the 22-yard line. So less than 3 seconds to go. Father Ryan would need to get a touchdown. They have the ball at their own 22-yard line. Offense has not scored any points here in this second half.
An absolute miracle necessary here for the Irish. They're going to need a deep pass, whatever they can get to get down to the end zone. But other than that, this game is all but over.
JP2 has 3 defenders behind their own 30-yard line. They know that if whatever happens here, you don't want to be beaten deep if you're the Knights. For the Irish, it's going to come down to this, likely the last play of the game. 4 receivers and a whistle. Yeah, timeout, Pope John Paul II. So JP2 wanted to see what Father Ryan would give them from an offensive look standpoint, and they'll use their final timeout. So NBA has scored in overtime at Memphis University School. MUS will have its possession in overtime. Does not say if they got an extra point or how NBA, what they did after the touchdown. There's no way to flip this or spin this. If I'm sitting here in stunned silence because it's just an absolute heartbreaker.
Absolutely.
Father Ryan
Definitely
came in here with a game plan, controlling line of scrimmage with a running game. By and large, very effective. Pulled off what looked like a very savvy play, the punt on 4th and very short from their own 40 that pinned JP2 back all the way at their own 9-yard line, or at their 15, I should say.
Absolutely seemed like it could have been enough, but JP2 found a way to keep pushing it through.
Be haunted by that 4th down penalty for a long time, I fear. So Father Ryan, this is it. JP2 leads 27-23. O'Connell is going to throw short. Rector, he threw it forward to Bird. That's a penalty. He'll throw it backward, but it's immaterial. Playing hot potato with the ball. Nice block by Rector. If nothing else, another penalty. Warren has it. He'll throw back to Rector. Rector throws it back again, and it's picked up by a JP2 player. So unless the penalties are offsetting or something of that nature, it's over. You see the Knights of JP2 celebrating at midfield. We'll wait and see what these penalties are. If they are offsetting penalties, well, we'll just see. From the looks of it, they seem to think this one is over. The 0-0 on the clock, so. And looking at the officials, but
it seems as though they have called it.
It's over. It's over. So Pope John Paul II High School for the second year. Is that the
That's right.
do a run in here in the booth?
Yes. First time ever being back-to-back wins.
JP2 students this time stayed on the sideline, to their credit, unlike last year. So the Knights, with a comeback late in the 4th quarter in a game that Father Ryan led for almost the entire second half, ends up giving JP2, ends up being a 27-23 victory here, Father Ryan High School. And that means the Knights will retain the Bishop's Cup for another year. Next week, 1 week from tonight, NBA comes town, or I should say comes to the south side of the town. It comes here to Giacosa Stadium. Father Ryan looks to end its 20-year losing streak against NBA in football.
Absolutely. Another big rivalry game next week.
We have one final to pass along real quick. NBA beats MUS 28-21. So, as if that wasn't enough news for Father Ryan fans to deal with, it's going to be a 4-0 NBA team coming in here to Giacosa Stadium. Anything else, Austin?
Absolutely. Just another big game next week. Hopefully the Irish can bounce back and have a good game against another big rival. And hopefully they can move on.
So for Austin Wright, Billy Derrick, everybody with the Behind the Crest crew, all the ATW Sportscast crew, I'm Lou Pickney. Your final score from Giacosa Stadium, JP2 beating Father Ryan 27-23. We'll be back with you 1 week from tonight for NBA versus Father Ryan.